Alright, hi guys, what is up? With me today I have Sir Fainal and Gold Raven, and we're here to talk to you about all things AQ3D. Why do you guys say hi?
Go first, Raymond.
Oh, dang, I was waiting for you to go first. Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hi, everyone.
Alright, how is the stream audio? Can you guys hear me clearly? Can you hear Gold Raven clearly? Can you hear Sir Fainal clearly? Let me turn the music down a bit so you can hear them.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me? Oh,
Audio seems good. Alright, thank you for the
yeah.
follow. Okay.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
a
I
mic.
had, well, very sorry for being late. I had an audio crisis, which is why I'm using this mic. Is that Blaze? Wait, that's not
No, it's
Blaze.
Raymond.
Mm.
I gotcha.
You did. Oh, you would have if I didn't see your the title of your last video. So,
Oh.
alright. So I have your PNGs up on this screen. Yep. So we have Sir Fainal's PNG covering up chat, and we have Gold Raven stabbing me in my shoulder on. Yeah. And listen, I can explain. I'm dressed like this for a very good reason, okay? Don't judge me.
Were you working on the video,
Yeah,
the
actually,
contest that we
I
mentioned?
Oh.
I did make a
That
submission.
makes
I like
sense.
not like to win the prize, but just because I had a lot of fun working on it. But oh my God, it was a hassle. But we'll talk about that later on. Let me let me get out of this. Actually, I'll stay in this for the stream, and green is one of my favorite colors, so I think I'll stay in the green. So, do you
I'm
guys
the
have a
only one that looks
location?
like me.
Yeah. Do you
That's true.
do you guys have any particular location you guys want to go to before we
I
start getting into the
usually
heavy
hang out
stuff?
in the Guardian Tower, but I don't think that's the best place.
I do not think that is the best place now.
That will get your half of your stream chat locked out of the location. So no.
Yeah. Actually, no, most of the people that are in my chat are Guardians, but that is a very good
Oh.
point. I want to start doing Guardian giveaways again, but nah, maybe in a month or two when I could properly afford to again. But that's beside the point. So, while we look for a location, why don't you tell us about yourself, Sufino? This is the first time you've been on stream. No, this is the second time you've been on my stream, but we haven't had a proper introduction. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you do, how long you've been with AE, and um,
True.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. Last time I was here, I was still just a volunteer tester. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess things have changed a bit. So, well, hi everyone. I think a lot of you guys already know me. I'm Fainal. I'm the guy who gets blamed for everything that's wrong with the game. Uh, every single bug that you guys have ever found, that's my fault. Ever.
I see, I
No.
see.
So my position started officially as like a Q&A tester.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but now I have evolved. I have ascended, so to speak. So I'm still a Q&A tester. I'm still part of the tester team,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I'm one of the active developers of the game. Now I'm a quest writer, balance tester, balance designer, quest design, and itemizer for the game. In
Okay,
between
okay.
other things, like I also help with anything else that I can help. My unofficial title is mini fishing because she does a lot of stuff.
Oh,
I'm
okay, okay.
supposed to be like the small version of her and try to do what she does.
I see, I see.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. What I do. Put it really shortly.
Well, thank you very
Wait,
much
so
for that, Fainal. Sorry.
no,
Go
I was
ahead,
just
go.
gonna say, do you call her Oshi?
No, I call her Fincin. I guess because I met her officially as Fincin before
Oh, okay.
knowing her as Oishi. I mean, I
Right,
knew
right,
her as Oishi, right? Everyone
right.
knew her NPC.
Oh,
But
okay.
no,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Those are entirely new names to me because I think I've only had one interaction with Fizzin, and that was about it when they stopped by my stream for something. They killed me and said that dagger. They said courtesy of dagger or something. They did a slash kill. Yeah, that was it.
That is so funny.
It is
Dagger used to kill me and dance on me and take off.
right.
Oh my goodness.
What a legend.
Is
Yeah,
this
he used to
some
go do 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 and then vroom.
is this some RP stream? He sounds like he's talking from a space capsule. No, I thought you said my audio was fine, guys. You lied to me.
They said it was fine at first. I saw somebody say it was fine.
Thank you for all of the bits. Yeah, I think we should move because this is a non-target teleport zone.
You can
That is
do
a
social
question
district.
yeah, social district will have people killing. Yeah, that's good. They'll get help to kill the social district boss. Let's head there. What is the slash command for social district? Do we have one?
Join battle on social.
Because I get lost.
Crazy chick says that she can hear you, but yeah.
I don't understand what Jules said.
What?
Are we saying fine is never a good sign? Oh no. Someone had to say it. Look, I'm sorry. My mic crashed before stream. My mic refuses to be picked up by OBS. Secret spot in Boog's Tavern. Oh. I'm in social district. And everybody's here.
Someone had to say it. That's funny.
Alright, so I guess that is my first question for the night. I don't know if Gold Raven has a second question to follow up, but if you are able
Oh.
to answer, Mr. Fainal, sir,
Yes.
what is the deal, or why has there been more and more non-target teleport maps being implemented? Is that something you could comment on or no?
Yeah. There is two answers. One, which is kind of part of the second answer, is that it's left to the designer of the map and who is designing because we work in small teams, right? So there is one map designer and someone that's helping with administrative stuff like items, balance, NPCs, questline, etc. So it's up to them why they set up one way. Sometimes there are oversights. People just forgets to do stuff one way or another. Not always, but other times it is intentional. For example, let me give you an example. The katana release, the cosmic cutter, the one in when you fight in Yokai with the aliens.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys recall that the first week of that place was not be able to be teleported towards your friends, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was an oversight. And you guys recall the later week that was changed, and now you can go to people now, to your friends, right? So there is sometimes because our schedule is so chaotic all the time and we're doing so many things at once to try to get the weekly release and everything. Sometimes some things people make mistakes and that happens, but that's usually on the lower end. Like that's rarely what happens. Most of the times there is a design intention on why it is that way. Let me give you another example. Atlantis. I saw that some people were talking and discussing why it is set up that way. Why can't I just teleport? Well, since I was the person helping design that area, I can answer you why exactly was the decision about that. So the reason why you cannot insta teleport to your friends, there is like three main reasons. One is there is a parkour title on the top of Atlantis. If you can teleport, that means that you just need one person to do the whole parkour, right? And then everyone else can just port and get the title without putting the effort.
Okay. Yeah.
But
That's reason number one.
Wasn't there a title in the Nulgath map, but you could teleport there?
Which one? The
Celadon Forest.
Celadon Forest.
Yeah, on top of the tree.
Yeah. So see, that's the reason why there was a compromise there is because Celadon is so packed with really hard monsters that it become a compromise for what I understand, because I didn't help with balancing and designing that part, to make people like just be able to pour there, because there's really hard monsters, and sometimes specific things takes priority on over others, but
right, makes sense.
sometimes they don't. So that was the first reason why Atlantis was locked that way. I have more reasons, but I think Raven wants to add something.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, it kind of falls into the same line as that. So the join command, like, I'm going to use AQ World as an example. Every single map, 99% of the maps in AQ World, you can use a join command to get to it. But in AQ3D, you can't. And you have to go through a bunch of menus in order to get to, certain maps.
And not even the right menus. Sorry to cut you off. I just needed to stick that in.
Okay.
Not even the right menus.
So my question is, why aren't they allowing the thing? Now, I know a similar question was asked to Artix, and he said it ruins the immersion of the game.
Yeah.
But going through 3 menus to get to your map option, like the map you want to go to, also ruins the immersion.
Yeah.
Like typing in the command is just is in fact faster in some cases, especially for PC. So I don't see how it ruins the immersion. If anything, it helps it.
So, okay, that's a branch of question. Do I keep answering the first question, or do I go into the second question?
No, answer the first one.
I just want to take I just want to take a pause. I just want to take a pause here while he collects his thoughts, stands to finish answering the question, and just acknowledge a couple of people in the chat and acknowledge the meow that I'm supposed to do, because yeah, they redeemed the meow, and every time they do that, I have to stop and put my best effort into going meow. Shout out to Mia in the chat, Isuna, all of the MVPs. Juliet is here to cheer you on, Fainal. She said, Fainal speedspeak.exe activated. So, but somebody did make a good point about the Southern map as well. That was an easy parkour compared to Atlantis. Yeah. I haven't done the Atlantis parkour yet, so I have no idea. All right, you can continue now. Sorry for the interruption.
That's a good point as well. I also have the chat open just to like see what guys people are saying, and I also saw that point. And yeah, that is true. The Seleden parkour is more like a fun. You jump 3 times, and oh look, there is a hidden chest. You can get this title here, instead of like an actual more engaged parkour. Yeah. So that's also that's something that is considered the difficulty of the parkour, because the Atlantis one is harder. Remember that I was testing it, and I found it by mistake, and I realized, okay, I think there is something up here, and it took me a while to get there. And said, okay, so that's why we want this map lock. So that was the first reason. The secondary reason is you guys may have not noticed. No, I think some people noticed that the NPCs are distributed in a very specific and strategic position. And that's also intentionally designed that way. For example, that Kenai and Sulfin, the blacksmith and the armorer, are at the beginning of the map, right? Inside of the town. Usually in our game, and in almost all MMOs, right? These NPCs, you find the NPCs, the vendors, the quest givers, the pet owners, the suppliers, the potion sellers at the city. You will never find NPCs that are really important, right? Have really important shops scattered around monsters or around monsters areas. So that's a standard in all MMOs. Always there is a reason for that, which is the one that doesn't make sense to have your shop in the middle of a ravaging area full of monsters, like lore-wise, right? Story-wise.
Yeah, because then people could just drag mobs. People could drag mobs over, and you can't interact and all of that.
Exactly. That's a good point. You can get locked, and if you are in combat, you cannot open shops, you cannot buy stuff, you cannot accept quests, you can, but there is like that complication that you're getting annoyed all the time. But the main reason is that the reason why the NPCs are so strategically placed, and they are strategically placed, which except for maybe 1 or 2 exceptions, is that the whole, when we release this stuff, we're like giving you an experience. So if I just since I help, I'm gonna refer as I just, because I help balancing and designing this stuff. If I just allow you to like have everything in one NPC
in the most convenient place possible, that ruin the experience and the immersion. So for me, it's ideal to have you guys walking from point A to point B, and from point B to point C, and then from point C to point D. So if you are new to the area, right, you join Atlantis, and the first thing that you see is a lot of players running around. Some players are going to the armorers, some players are going to the raid, some players are going to the palace to get the new caves, the what's that called, the king set. Some others are going towards the locker, towards the savage areas. So you see all this activity going on. And for a newcomer, they see, okay, so there is a lot of stuff to do here because there is a lot of players moving around in different directions. So that's intentionally made that way. So you, whenever you finish a dungeon, right, you go to the armorer and see, okay, what are the pieces that I have? How much gear do I have for this? And you are like unintentionally or indirectly teaching other players what are the focal points of the map, what are the important points of the map. If you go to Atlantis right now, you're gonna see a lot of people gather in front of Kenai or in front of Solfin. Maybe not right now, but when there was a lot of players. And that's important because that teaches people that that's a focal point, a point of importance in the map. Go ahead.
Like when I came back, that was the opposite for me because I even had stream helping me and I still got lost in Atlantis. I couldn't find the NPCs. I was like, why is this so far away from the dungeon? Why is everything so? I couldn't tell where the beginning of the map was. I couldn't tell where left, right, anything. It was just so stuff like that is wasted on people like me, and I'm sure I'm not the only person who's directionally challenged, but it is a good concept from now that you mention it like that. Back to you, Glorvin.
What? Oh, you mean my original question? Oh, that's okay. He can answer that one.
Oh, I thought you had a point to make on what he was saying.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the reason why I cannot just allow you to like have everything on one NPC right to the locker entrance. Because I think I saw some criticism that why is not the NPC at the locker? Why I cannot upgrade my armor, buy my potions, accept my quest, get my reputables, buy my gear, trade my gear, and upgrade my gear on the same NPC next to the locker. So
there was nothing that
of
told
course,
us.
I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but there was nothing that told us to go buy the light potions or anything from the NPCs. Like if the quest guided you to the NPCs, those like the merchants, that would have been good. So maybe that could be an improvement going forward for the next area.
I actually agree with that. Like because that the quest line usually tries to introduce you to these NPCs, right? And what does what, right? And I think the quest line succeed with introducing you to Solfin, the blacksmith, introducing you to Pearl, the sage, introducing you to the native, the water elf that has the purple skin, the one that hunts down monsters, the fisherman, etc., etc. And those all NPCs that can eventually, potentially, be used in the future. So, but with the potion lady, the quest line didn't introduce you to the potion lady. And you have pretty much you heard from word of mouth that what the potion lady did, that she was selling you, besides regular potions, the elixirs of light that will help you out in the dungeon. However, you do not require the elixirs of light to finish the dungeon. The first time that you do it, you are supposed to engage with the mechanics of the dungeon. It's hard if you're doing it in public because in public it's so chaotic, because I also play the game, guys, so I know how chaotic public is. To join public on week one, especially when the map's exploit was still there, that you can just jump around. So you will see people parkouring around the map, people just going for the chest and one-shotting them alone. You have no idea what is going on. So it's really hard to get a grip of what is going on. But ideally, if you do it solo or with a party of friends, you will be able to progress to the dungeon without the use of elixirs. And you can do that. The elixirs are supposed to speed up your additional runs, but I guess that wasn't really specifically clarified due to the fact that the elixirs and the potion lady was never like properly introduced.
No,
right?
Like if as far as dungeons go, the Caldera dungeon was 100% good in terms of initial explaining that okay, there are arrows on the ground, I follow the arrow, right? Even though the arrows were yellow on a yellow background, I could still vaguely see them and follow, right? but even that could have used. I don't know. I like instructions in my games to say, hey, go here, go there. But now that's just me. I don't know if you guys will ever be up for adding more instructions to not mechanics specifically, but that's like gameplay in general to help newer players out, people that aren't familiar with how things are in this game itself.
Yeah, I don't think that that's a bad point to make. I think it always comes down to how much time do we have left to finish an update, because we're so pressured for time constraints that sometimes we just can't make everything that as we would have liked it. I know for a fact that the stuff that I release, that I work on, is never exactly how I wanted it. I always think that I could have done better, that I could have improved it, but for the sake of time, it has to come out a specific way. So stuff like that,
Yeah.
sometimes we just run out of time and we cannot introduce it.
Right. That makes sense. Okay, so now going back, if you don't mind, to the join thing, is there any chance at some point in the future that they would enable more join commands?
I don't know. I am a immersion enjoyer. I'm not a join command fanatic. So my take is that we should have less join commands that we already have.
Really?
Yes, that's my take. However, I think you guys have a great point, because our menus are not the best to travel. If the company allows me to criticize it a bit, if they're not gonna fire me tomorrow.
No, don't worry. I take full responsibility for that statement. It's okay.
So yeah, our menus are not the best to navigate the world. So I see the way that I see stuff, right? This is not how we see it, but the way that I perceive it, is that the fact that people are asking for join commands means that there is an issue in the way that we present our maps. There is an issue on the way that we present our travel menus. There is an issue of how people transport through the game. If they're asking for shortcuts that are going to be less annoying, then there is something that we are doing wrong while we're trying to keep intact this immersion of like going to one place to another.
Right.
For example, I love, for example, the fact that you can go out of the social district and you go back to Babylon, and you can travel the whole districts just walking through Babylon. You can go out of the gates and then go into the intro, or you can go into the Green Guard. I love that. I love that. So that's because I like to be immersed in what I'm doing, right? Right. But yeah, I guess that's my overall take. I don't know, you guys. I don't think you guys will like it, but
well,
Mr. Fainal, sir. Oh, sorry. Just if you look on screen right now, as you talk about immersion, it's there. That's like.
Yeah. See. That thing is broken. It hasn't been reported already. We already supposedly have a fix for it, but it didn't run this week. See, Raven, as I was telling you, I'm always working. I'm never not working.
You did say that, yeah.
Yeah. But no, that thing is a known issue, and there is a supposed fix. Hopefully, it's gonna come up with this week. It was supposed to come up with this week release, but I think something happened in the map build, so I can just double check for next week. Because yes, you're pointing something really good, like stuff like that break the immersion, and like.
Yeah, I stopped my stream every time I run into a bug. I stop whatever I'm doing and I report the bug, and then I'm like,
well done.
I report bug.
Oh wow.
Yeah, well done. If you guys don't report the bugs, we cannot know about them. We cannot fix them. We cannot investigate them.
But bro, somebody needs to work on the ICT in terms of bug reporting, because that is the most confusing thing I have ever done in my entire life.
It is confusing, yeah. It's very confusing.
Wait, the what?
Bug reporting. When was the last time you reported a bug, GR?
Oh, like through the actual way?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
2 years?
Exactly.
No, it's been about a year. Ever since before I had like direct contact with the devs, I would do it through the thing, but now I just go on Discord and message Blaze.
It's even more confusing, because they added some stuff to it, I think, over the last year, in terms of menus, and now I'm like, oh, what is this? Where does this go? What does this do? What does yeah.
Oh.
So, Scrub has a point, but also about the join commands. Just my 2 cents on that topic I remember
Mm-hmm.
I was a very big what is the nice way to say not being nice about something? Somebody help me out here. Uh,
Jerk.
I was one of the biggest
A
critics
critic.
when they,
Oh,
yes,
critic. There we go.
when
Okay.
they removed that when they removed the join command from MindPass because it was there, it was
Mm-hmm.
on the wiki, and it was there, and we used it for years. I mean,
Oh, and then it was gone.
yeah,
Right.
that was just gone. And Scrub does
Yeah.
does does
Yeah.
have a good point. The wheels are connected. The only way to go to some maps are through the travel menus. Like Dockers isn't connected to anything. Lolosia isn't connected to anything. But I mean, I guess that's because you have to go by boat, so that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah. Good point, Scrapkit. That's why we, instead of giving you guys join commands, what in my opinion should do is connect those maps. So you can go through there everywhere. You
Mm,
can get a boat somewhere, sail with a captain. You can even use the stream on Babylon's gate to reach the Yokai Island and Lolosia.
That sounds like a great idea. And I know a big complaint that I get from a lot of new players is where do I go next when they've completed something and then there's no
mm-hmm.
prompt telling them where to go. And so they don't know, oh, I'm supposed to go to Livingstone Caverns. And then from there I go to like at least then back then when those maps were being built, they were being built linear so
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
you knew to go through. But then Heartwood Forest gets introduced, which is a branch off of that. And then you have other
Yeah.
maps that are branched off of that, but there's no connection between them. So then you're going, now where do I go?
Yeah.
Like now I got to
Yeah.
go back through here to get access to this place. Like, so it,
Mm-hmm.
so I understand,
Yeah.
what you're
So
saying. Connecting the maps like that would definitely be
a good thing.
much better. Yeah, that'd be a really
Because
good
as
thing.
it is now, you have to go to your adventure menu and then you have to click on main story, which is what I've been telling most players to do. Like the same problem that Gold Raven has when
Mhm.
people come to me and they're like, what do I do next? I'm just like, do your main story, and
Mhm.
they're like, how do I find the main story? Like use your adventure book,
Yeah,
and they're like, what is your adventure book? I'm like, it's you know
right.
the early
That's
game,
one thing I
yeah.
plug a lot on my videos is the adventure menu, but that's one reason why they're redoing the intro as well is to introduce that.
Are you
So
asking me?
that's no, I was just saying one reason why they were doing the like redoing the intro is because there's been new features and stuff introduced,
Hmm.
like the adventures
Yeah.
menu, which isn't even mentioned, and it's like
Yeah. That
the
that
core.
that's a good point. So the adventure menu is trying to like uh, address the situation of where I go. If you're a lower level
Mhm.
and you don't have your main quest line, so your main saga is complete, you can
Hmm.
actually check the adventure menu and it's gonna tell you your adventure or your quest. I don't remember what it's the exact word. I think it's your adventure begins, your adventure continues, and that's
Yeah.
like the guide point to do that. But the game doesn't
Right.
tell you that the book of lore is telling you where to go.
Is
So
that what it's called? Is this the Book of Lore? Oh, it is the Book of Lore. Okay,
Yeah.
I
yeah,
didn't notice that.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
in the
where the
subtitle.
whole yeah, that's where the whole idea came from
Oh.
was from the Book of Lore. So it was like, oh, which
Yeah.
was really great for people that played AQ Worlds because then we were
Mm.
going, oh, the Book of Lore, they actually have it in here. Like that's great.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
still think that we can do improvements on that area personally.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
On the book of
Akalasan
lore in our map.
Akalasan has a good
Mhm.
point, guys. He says, um, in his opinion, they shouldn't focus on a third rebuild of the intro and focus on what's already in game and quality of life updates that are really needed. You know, if you fix the core game
Mm-hmm.
and polish the core, then you can go back and polish the intro, you know, because I don't think the game wants to, forgive me for saying this, but continue to bleed players. Um, and it's not really bleeding players per se, you know, because they say nobody really quits, they just take a break and then come back. But
Mm-hmm.
they need to cater to the casual everyday player, uh, the people who have been playing maybe end game players, sort of middle ground between casual and in game. Give them the kind of quality of life updates that they've been asking for. Simple fixes and simple polishes. So,
So I don't disagree with what Aka is saying.
mhm,
Uh,
we also usually talk a lot, Ak and I, about this kind of stuff because he's one of my friends. So we have discussions about these topics all the time. But the thing is, like, yes, for us, it will be ideal if they will only if they will only focus on us. But for the mid-level players and the new players, it's not ideal if we don't focus on them whatsoever. So yeah, in our perspective, myself as a player, I can like I can
So
empathize with the whole thing about why are you not focusing on us, because I'm also a player, right? But the thing is, like, we also have to focus on the intro, what things we can do better in the mid-level ranges. Just as we were just talking about the Book of Lore, the point that Raven brought up, the fact that people get lost on their story. So we cannot focus on a specific group for too long, because then that means that we leave the other groups of players
right.
But what?
unkept.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say
I was done already.
I was watching a Halimod stream the other day for AQW, and I asked him and everybody in the chat, his chat responded with more or less the same thing. What is the best way for me, a new player or a returning player, to get back into AQW? Because I just can't get into it. I've tried multiple times.
Oh, it
I
is
just,
a super hard game to
right?
get back into.
And it ties into what Akalescent has been screaming about for the past couple of months. Guilds and guild functionality. If you have a good guild, then essentially the guilds will take care of the newer players. Newer players will be looking to join good guilds, and they'd learn about the game from people in the guild. And that's how you build community and build, a thriving end game. And I run out of words, but you know what? You know what I'm trying to say, right? We need more.
Yeah, I understand.
We need more guild functionality. You know?
I agree. I find guilds being like
It's a glorified.
underworked.
It's a glorified friends list at this point.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
and the reason why I think guilds is so important, especially in a game like this, is because AE games are literally built by the players. Like, they're funded by the players. And a lot of people will say, if you ask a question, why are you still playing this game? Why are you still playing? They'll say, because of the community. Because the community is really a very big core of AQ3D and AQ World. Like, it's, the community holds it. It's that glue. So working on guild stuff, you're just strengthening the glue that's holding the entire game together. So it makes sense to work on guilds, not just for guild's sake, but it's literally the stability of the game would be much safer, I find.
Yep, I don't disagree with that, actually, because as a guild leader myself, I know how lacking the guild system is.
Yeah.
And how it feels like we have been like pushed to the side with no updates. The last update that we had was the increase of the max cap from 20 players to 100 players, which was a big
right.
Yeah, that was
for
good.
us.
No,
right?
huge. I was pushing for that so hard.
Yeah,
Like,
so see how do you remember how refreshing that felt?
it did.
Small
It
stuff
did.
like that go a long way to make the experience feel better.
It does. It really, really does. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Huge.
Cryo has a point. Instead of personalized housing, it would be a lot easier to have guild housing and, like maybe have blacksmith inside there where you can purchase things like NPC, like convenience things, nothing that would give you extraordinary perks over solo players who prefer to remain ungilded, but convenience perks and like be able to level up your guild, or even for guild leaders to
That
be
would
able
be
to
a
put down
huge.
like a banner so that everybody like that's what we do in the other game I play in Ultra. The guild leader puts down a banner every time like the field boss is gonna come up, or we're PvPing somewhere, or there's an activity somewhere. You drop a guild banner and everybody in the guild can just teleport to that one spot. There's like a little timer.
Oh,
Yeah,
like a guild
there's
flag.
so much stuff. There is so much stuff that can be done with guilds, starting from less complex to more complex. Like, there is a lot of features that I remember from Final Fantasy 14, I think it is.
Yeah.
The MMO one, right? I played a little bit with some of my guildmates, with TKT, Jack, and with Helimod back then. So remember that the guild system that they have there is, they have guild halves, right? What this person is talking, Cryogenic, I think it is. Yeah, you could just join a common space, was your guild house or guild hall, and then everyone would like hang out together. You could put dummies and stuff like that. That's more complex because, of course, it is like private instances. It's almost a housing. It's pretty much housing, but like it's group housing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's still a system, a completely new system that has to be developed from scratch and then just be put into. So that's more complex. However, asking for something a little bit more simple, like for example, last online or
Yes.
activity
Oh,
in the
that
guild.
last online would be the biggest thing right now, like especially for the bigger guilds. Like we have like our guild is capped out, our first guild. Our second guild is over half full, and half of them are probably inactive, only on once every 3 weeks or something like that. So we could really weed out the people who don't really play.
Yeah, and make space for the people that, do want to be part of a guild and contribute to the growth of the guild and play together with you when you're active.
That's one aspect, and as the other thing is like, as the more things that we put into guilds, or the more X that we put into guilds, or just not guild, just community features. As Raven well said, the game is built on community and stands on community. Groups of people, Discord servers, guilds, streams like this, for example. This is also a community that makes people gather and talk. Like, we wouldn't be here if it weren't because there is a community here that sort of thrives around the game,
right?
That makes situations like this happens. Live events, PvP tournaments, giveaways, all those stuff. So I think something like the gifting events were a step in the right direction on focusing on community and how much of a success that was. That now is like ingrained in the culture of the game. The gifting events,
spawn events.
Yeah,
exactly, spawn events.
Yeah,
so
I love spawn events.
The more, I think it's a win. It's a win-win, like Artist says it. To like push or like lean a little bit more on guild stuff. However, since the resources are limited, if we have to choose on what we're gonna work, right? But that's why I'm saying that pushing for simple stuff is more feasible, like last online, stuff like that. Maybe increasing the amount of members, maybe buying new members. Although even buying new members sounds simple. I mean, buying space, it sounds simple in question, right? Like just adding 10 more slots for disease.
But like, if you level up your guild, you can have more slots or something like that. Or is that too complex?
Leveling would be really cool.
Yeah, everything is up for hypotheticals, or like potentially it can happen, right? But the thing is, like, to give for you an example, doing that means developing a whole new system, right? Coding a whole new system that makes you one level up, then coding the additional system that keeps adding you guild spaces, and then link those two together, those two systems that are independent, so they can work with each other, and you can have the level up system and the addition of more guild members. So there's two systems that you're asking a coder to code, right?
True.
So something that they can.
So
something, when you go by one feature at a time, is more feasible for the team to do.
You guys would have a better idea of what's already in the game and what's coded in. So you guys would probably know where's best to start and what's easiest, and would take minimal resources away from development time to just to add some quality of life things. How feasible would it be to, like, if you could consolidate, like, on one of the Monday meetings, be like, all right, these are some of the things that we have. These are the potential things we can do. What should we prioritize? Do you think you should throw it out to the player base on Drama Center? I mean, Twitter, or like Discord communities? Right.
That was funny.
Yeah. So, you think it's something you should poll and see in terms of the order of which, if it's all within your realm of possibility, would you poll how you release it or anything like that? I don't think
it's hard to get a feeling of what the players want, especially for them. Lately, the team has been smartly kind of utilizing me to understand what the game, what the players want, because they understand that I'm a player myself, that I have like 12k hours into the game.
Yeah,
so lately they haven't utilizing me for that.
Let me tell you the problem with that.
Go ahead.
Before you continue. You see, people like you and people like, well, the old me, because I haven't yet started tryharding yet, we're endgame players and we are tryhards. If you build a game around us,
Exactly.
the casual players will be left behind.
Right. I am actually a casual player. I know it doesn't seem like it because I'm always in the game, but I'm actually not always in the game. It just appears I'm always in the game. I am definitely a casual player when it comes to actually playing the game. So I see things from both sides because I know what it's like to be an endgame player as well, because I'm kind of there, but in a fake way. But my real passion is like casual. That's how I play every game is casual. You know, if I go for end game stuff, it's only because I'm going to be helping somebody by making a video about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't go for it myself because it takes way too long, and I wouldn't want to waste time doing that. So I prefer doing casual. So there's two people that play this game, and that is those who love the grind and go for the big stuff, and those who are more casual and they go for the smaller stuff, which the game does cater to both. So it is dangerous to go for just one. If you only release for like the end game players, the casual players are going to be vastly left out, and vice versa. If you only do for casual, then the end game. So it's like it's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place in some situations.
See how we dive back to you guys right now reach to the same conclusion that I was trying to explain adolescent when he was asking about why are we not focusing on endgame stuff instead of focusing on the intro. You guys naturally reach the same conclusion because now you understand, right?
Yeah.
So that's your answer, adolescent.
Yeah, that's the answer. Yeah, and also see that's another problem. If focusing on guilds, which is great, by the way, and ultimately I do think it would be good, but at the same time there needs to be something there that would keep the players, even if they are in a guild, to keep them going. Like content releases are still very important to that as well. So releasing or working on guild stuff takes away from the content stuff, especially if you're limited on programmers. So that also causes another issue.
Yeah. I mean, everything that we focus on is going to be a win. It's going to be something good for the game. But if we focus on content, okay, we're going to get content. If we focus on endgame grinds, we get an endgame grinds. If we focus on casual content, on cosmetic content, people, whatever approach we take, it's not wasted resources, right? If we focus on classes, lately Blaze has been doing a lot of work on classes on PR. I don't know if you guys have noticed.
Yes.
I've been trying to help him around with that as well. But Blaze has been doing a spectacular work with classes, and that's already on top of all of his like busy schedule. So we're already like trying to spread ourselves thin to try to cover as many bases as possible. But as you guys said, it is hard to cater to a specific group. It's not impossible to have a little bit for everyone because we have done it, and
absolutely.
It has most definitely happened. It is tricky though, and I was saying, it is hard to know what exactly the players want because that is just one vocal part of the community.
I mean, I get what you're saying, and that Twitter is biased, Discord is biased, even people that come to streams are biased, right? That's skewing the demographic. But within the same company, Artix Entertainment, AQ Wales has an in-game polling system. So how difficult would something like that be to implement right here in AQ3D? Also, thank you guys for all of the bits. Thank you, Crazy Chick. Thank you, Mia. Much love.
Yeah, I see you dying. I see you dying for acknowledging the bits and all the hearts, the subscription, and everything that you're getting. That's why I say, okay, like wants to speak. You need to thank everyone.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody that is here right now. Shameless plug. I'm trying to hit 900 followers. So if you're not following and you're new here, please hit that follow button. We do discussion streams like this fairly often. I'm not home right now, but when I get home, my stream schedule will be ramped up, and I'll be streaming almost every other day again.
Nice.
Okay, back to you guys.
See, so that question, I'm not the right man to answer that. The most likely best man to answer that will be Artix, because even though I know a lot of the ins of the outs of the game, I don't have all the answers, right? So the best man to answer that question will be Artix. we have done it before. We have asked, well, not a poll itself, but we have this like little form for asking for feedback at the beginning of the game. But that was kind of immersion breaking because it takes you to a link outside of the game that it will open on your browser or it will open on your
For
app.
new,
So it's not ideal, right? Because it takes you away of the game.
that was the
Takes you
one for
out,
new
right.
players, right? Like, because I remember I made an alt account and
Yeah.
yeah, as soon as I hit the Green God Ravine or something, it is like review. Hey yo, thanks for the subs.
I think it was the Crossroads.
Yeah, it's a Crossroads. Yeah, it's Crossroads. Speaking of the
Oh, yeah.
Did you
Crossroads,
answer that? Did you answer the feedback poll?
yeah, I did. I answered. I was very, very descriptive, and I think I even put my name in there.
Nice, nice. So I think
That's
that's
awesome.
another issue with those kind of polls, especially to take you away of the game, is that you have a chance that people don't answer because why is something opening? Like when you open an ad and you
Yeah,
immediately close it
that's
because you're trying
true.
to focus. See, so there's a
Yeah.
problem. That's why it has to be like you saying, like AQW when it's inside the game.
That-
But that presents its
yeah,
own challenges.
I guess it
Mhm.
does. And as you just touched on that point, I just want to say AQ3D should not become AQW because I've noticed a trend in terms of how the farming has been going. And I
Mhm.
I don't know if Gold Raven is a fan of it, but I am not a fan of the way that the Nulgas Saga's farming was done. All right. I mean, yeah, it got people to go to all areas and stuff away, but just the it basically took AQ3D from uh easy mode straight to extreme without any mid
Yeah.
ground. All right, so that's
Okay, so you know
yeah,
what? You're the man to be talking about that because I was in charge of that. That was
mhm,
my debut quest line. So I
yeah,
developed and like I designed all those systems. The reason why it is like that, well, there is two major reasons. Is one is because it's an homage to the AQW original knowledge farming system.
mhm.
Is I try my best to make a one-to-one recreation on what it felt
Okay,
in
okay.
the original
Yeah,
AQW. I
and
just
I'm
seen
gonna
someone say,
say he nailed it because I absolutely loved it. I thought it was
"Thank you, Raven."
great, and I'm sure a lot of other AQ World players that played it would have
Yeah,
loved it. And I've seen people even now still grinding for it just because it's the Phoenix Blade.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like
So
and the grind is there for a reason because Nalgath stuff is intended to be lengthy grinds, complicated grinds.
Yeah.
That's kind of the end game stuff.
No,
yeah.
I'm not. I don't dislike it because it's complicated. Well, I'll touch on that. That's the asterisk on complicated. I don't dislike it because it's grindy. I like to grind. I don't dislike it because it's hard. I dislike it because yes, there are so many different ways to go about getting it, but there's not. It was so confusing because things kept changing during the release. I mean now,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
now
So
now.
not
Mhm,
the quest
mhm.
flow. It was the way that
Yeah,
the
that so many different
things were
things could be
changing
used for
based
the
on.
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so part of the design, like so, the way that the reason why it kind of clicks on Ravens
Mm,
and it clicks on me is because we experienced the original
yeah.
AQW design of 2009, 2011.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard for a new player, for an AQ3D player that has never touched AQW old school farming to
Yes.
understand it. I understand why you're struggling with it
Hmm.
because I'm asking you to understand something impossible. Because if you did not play the original, it's really challenging to like,
Yeah.
this doesn't make sense. And the thing is, like, it is, even though this may sound absurd, it is intentionally that obscure because the original was also
Was that yeah,
obscure
Oh,
as
exactly.
this one.
jeez.
Oh
So
yeah.
this is like why it was like, as I said, like an homage, like a love letter to old Mulgat farming. And that's
Exactly.
why a really specific group of people really liked it because that specific group of people is what the people that I was trying to cater to, which were the old Nulgat fans.
Yeah.
That's why you didn't like it as much because you were not an old Nulgat fan. Did you get the blade?
I farmed everything. I farmed everything.
Okay.
But that was around the time. Yeah, no, I did get everything in Nulga Saga. Uh,
Nice, nice.
what I did not
So
complete
go ahead, go ahead.
was yeah, the only thing I haven't completed is like the Atlantis stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I haven't
What
I haven't
what is
finished it.
Mia saying? She's gonna get.
Wow.
She's
You guys are behind. I have my build fully completed and I farmed it
Yeah.
all. I even
she,
have a secondary weapon.
she says she's gonna get poached.
I have a primary weapon and a cape, but I haven't got the boots, belt, or anything else yet. Still a work in progress.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So
Well, I just want to welcome Mads to the VC.
right.
What's up, my man?
Welcome, Matt.
No. I'm just here to listen to Fainal's wise words. My
Uh,
guardian, sir. Let's go.
oh jeez. Okay. All right. So, what were we? What? Where were we before I got sidetracked?
So I actually want to grab what you said because the Lulgat farming method is a
Mm.
perfect example of something we were talking already, which was catering to both type of players, the more casual focused and the regular ones. So the way that I compromised or I was able to like get away with Lulgat farming in the developer team is that this is intended to be only for the hardcore players, for the players that want to farm this, because this is a love letter to Nulgat all farming.
Right.
And to make that possible, I had to make that this wasn't the only way to progress. So even though the Phoenix Blade of Nulgat was the best weapon, right? It cannot be the only weapon. So we took that compromise with that you will have to have other weapons, other items, other gear to get, so you wouldn't be able to be forced to get the Phoenix Blade of Nulgat because there is no other weapon. And that's
Yeah.
when the rest of the team took care of that. They introduced the prong spear.
Yeah.
They introduced all the mage Nulgat caster. So if you are not a Nulgat aficionado, like myself and many others here in the chat or like in the player base, you could rely on the main progression. We had internally, we had a name. We had, now it's kind of lost Albany, but it was like main progression and end game progression. And the main
Right.
progression is the path that everyone is supposed to take or should be able to take as the main progression. And the end game progression is the optional progression that you will get through that way. We code named it Fizzing progression and Final progression because Fizzing was already really well established on how to make mainland progression. And since I was introducing this whole new system endgame, that was the Final progression that for the people that want to go above and beyond and get maximize their stats, infuse something to the top level, and have the most powerful weapon that was not an obligation to get. So that's my overall philosophy with that, and that's a really good example of accomplishing it to both sides of the player base.
Right.
Because you're not forced to get the Phoenix Blade, only if you want to go for the absolute best you can get the Phoenix Blade. But if not, you have all these other options that you can get if you don't want to engage with the system, which is perfectly fine, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because you don't need the Phoenix Blade. So this it kind of reminded me. You must have been around for this too. When the Ashfall Saga released, they had the what was it called? Something of the Abyss, Lava Staff of the Abyss, or something like that.
Yeah. That was a really early introduction to what Nulgat farming is like.
Exactly, and I loved it. It was amazing. You had to get, this gem thing. And so many people back then loved that grind. So many people went for it just because it was something out of reach, something that was like, could people get this? And you'd actually see people walking around with it. You don't see that now. But after Ashfall, they stopped. And it was like, where are these grinds where it has you going for these items like, things you don't have to get. It doesn't have to do with the storyline, but you can get it. And they stopped doing that. They didn't do that. Then when Nulgath came out, they finally introduced a similar weapon. They did kind of do one back when the Island of the Dead came out. They had that necromantic skull staff.
Yeah, the necromantic.
But it wasn't quite the same though, because the quests weren't done the same way. It wasn't through a merge shop like where you're crafting through a merge shop. It was through quests. So it didn't give you the same vibe. It was fun, but not as fun as grinding for that lava sword or grinding for Nulgath, because
that came back in Sansi, not so like with the shark and stuff and all of the other things, because they were all around the same power level. Well, after they were adjusted, they were all around the same power level. And you had different options to go for. So one was like a haste build, one was like attack build, stuff like that. So it did kind of come back in Sansi. And
Right.
I like the circular currency that you can turn everything into Bastion bucks, and you could have turned Bastion bucks into the other currencies that you would need for the different pieces of
Yeah,
gear.
I like that too.
So things like that going forward would be nice again. The only thing that we didn't like about Sansi, well, a lot of people complained about the Jin dungeon. That was one,
Mhm.
but that's still one of my favorite dungeons. But
Yeah, same.
a lot of people
Oh,
complained
right.
about the
Yeah.
raid, and um, tell Fainal to say Necronomicon 10
Yeah,
times.
I was laughing about that one.
uh, yeah, people complained about the raid, and then we had Blaze on a podcast, and we asked, to never have something again like that as power locked, and now I come back from a 2 month hiatus, and I see a power locked uh raid in
Yeah,
Atlantis.
but to be fair, it's very easy to get
Hmm.
to that power
Yeah.
Okay.
cap,
So,
unlike the previous one, which was really, really hard.
and I have an explanation for that too.
Okay.
The reason why this feels better, as Raven is saying, is because we took extra precautions about that. So maybe you guys didn't notice. I mean, some of my friends did notice without me actually telling them.
Hmm.
Because that is no fun to tell people, oh, this is what I intended to do, blah 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 blah. You ideally, when you're designing this stuff, you want to see how the players experience it and see if they get it, if they like get a grip of what is going on, if they
Okay.
figured it out, what you were trying to make them do. It's the same with
Right.
Nurgat farming. I can try to make you do something, but you may take a route completely different to what I intended, what I designed, and to a certain degree, that's fine. I mean, I don't care whatever route you take. So for the raid, we took into consideration the previous end game gear. I mean, the Dead of Games
Hmm.
stuff, the gamer gear, fully infused. That will be the base of what you should have. And then we say, okay, so if this is going to be our base, we are assuming that our previous players, should end game players, right?
Hmm.
People that you will regularly see trying to participate in the raid,
Right.
should have this amount of power with the Dead of Game stuff. Then we will add a few extra pieces from the new stuff, and you will be able to get it. So the ideal setup will be you either get the full new stuff if you have literally no gear, right? And you
Right.
fully infuse it and you get it. Or if you had the Dead of Game stuff, you will require a helmet that the story already gives you, guaranteed, fully
Okay.
infused at level 40, a weapon, and I think you also need like an extra piece, a belt, shoulders. I think one piece was lacking, but you will need minimum gear or minimum farming to be ready for the raid.
Okay.
That's a consideration that was not taken
It's
with the
Ansi.
previous
Hmm.
raid. Yeah,
All
with
right. Okay.
Sansa.
I can understand that. That's fair.
Yeah, that's why it felt better, right? It felt
Mhm.
like, okay, yeah, this is not as a massive grind, because I remember when
Right.
it
Yeah.
came out.
That was a big issue with the other one was, because there was such a cap between the two
Hmm.
that it was like, oh my goodness. So people had an issue. I mean, people were able to go into it at the same time once they did get there, so it worked out well in that
Hmm.
sense. But yeah, it
Yeah,
was difficult.
there is always some people that like it, like a lesson here. He loved it, apparently. I kind of liked it
Okay.
too, but I did notice that it was going too far away. Like maybe this is too much of a gap in between
Yeah, it
powers.
definitely was
R-
because of the power creep that happened at throughout the entirety of Sansi. So
Yeah.
there was a
Bro,
question at the top of my head, and I completely lost it.
is
But
Rose okay? What the?
yeah, but I just
Oh,
wanna.
Maz just swore.
Did he?
What? What do you mean? I didn't.
Oh, I think Rose is having a. Rose is
Bro,
having a.
she's not okay. Look at her.
Here,
Just passing out.
she's spazzing out. She's confused. Do I choose Fainal or do I choose Mads? Oh no. Listen, you guys better stay away from Rose. Shoo, shoo,
PvE.
shoo, shoo. Anyways, hi Fury. Welcome to everybody that's just rolling into the chat. We're just here
Oh,
discussing a bunch of not so random topics here on stream. My memory isn't working too great tonight. Does anybody want to do a quick recap of what we've discussed so far?
no, ask me. I'm just.
We
Sir
have talked
Fainal.
about guilds, we have talked about menus, we have talked about traveling, we have talked about join commands, we have talked about the difference between focusing on endgame players and casual players, why it is that way. We talk about the sign of the maps, why maps are and NPCs are placed in a specific way compared to others. And we just finished talking about nullgat grinding and what was the last thing that we talked right now? I forgot. Okay, I forgot one of the 10 topics that we
Raids.
talked.
We're
Give me
talking
a break.
about raids and Scorpion
Raids.
Thank you.
power gating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the complete list of everything that we have discussed.
Yeah.
Nice. He's got better memory than I do.
That's good. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
I've had a long day. Long day. But yeah, we still need a Fainal to say Necronomicon. I can't even say it 10 times fast.
Necronomicon.
Wow. You want him to say something you can't even say.
I could have said it. Chat should give us some incentive to get Fainal to say that.
Come on, chat.
Oh yeah, we
Necronomicon.
spoke about joint commands as well.
10 times.
Oh, right.
Don't do it,
Oh.
Saka. It's a trap. I know. It sounds like a trap. Go ahead, Raymond.
I was gonna say, so the intro that they're working on, it was funny because the very first intro that I was introduced to the game, I absolutely loved. It had a war zone going on behind you, interact with a very familiar Moglin. It was a Zorbak, and you're interacted to other NPCs in the area. It was short, sweet, got you right into the game. I loved it. And then they came up with a new intro, which I understand the direction behind it, but there was something I didn't like about it, which didn't really strike a chord until my little cousin played through it. When he had played through the old one too, because I introduced him when it was brand new. But so he played through it, and he was like, "Why does it start you off in a dungeon?" That was the very first thing he thought, and I was like, "Wow," because that was basically the words I was trying to look for. Like, there's something off about this that I don't like, but I didn't know what it was. And it was the fact that it was a linear dungeon. That's what it felt like. And it was like, this is not the way AQ3D should be introduced, is in a dark, dank dungeon. It should be introduced the way AQ World is, where you're in this beautiful, lush, forest, and then you go into town through this small tutorial thing. It was much nicer. And the original AQ3D kind of captured that. It was actually pretty cool when you're standing in the middle of a battleground going, this is a game. I'm in the middle of a battleground. Okay, I got to talk to this little blue thing right here. And it gets, the ball rolling with this small, quick, precise tutorial introducing you to the game. Whereas in this other one, which did the same thing, the mechanics were similar. It introduced you to the game, but it was more abstract from what AQ3D really is. It wasn't at all like what the game is actually like. And it was in this dark dungeon, which was also not a vibe, or not the best vibe to introduce new players to. Like, here's this dark thing. Every other MMO is doing bright and fluffy. We're going to do dark and dank until you get into the open world and realize it really is bright. But
I like
so
the
that
current.
was one of the issues I had.
I like the current intro. Because that's the one I came in with. But
right.
I don't know. The thing about AQ3, why I think is so hard to what I think is get new players in and keep them, but also keep endgame players around, is that AQ3D is a mix and match of so many different things. It's hard to fit it into one box. Like, it's split so greatly split between cosmetics and I'm starting to sound like Helly Mod now, grindable gear. Right? And I've been seeing less and less of the grindable gear that you can really say, yo, I spent time, I grinded for that. Like what the Sun Fury sites were. So, I don't
That's also what the Nullgat method feels, or is
Yeah.
supposed to feel like. You spend time doing this thing and you got it and you finally got it. Like, oh yeah.
Right.
Feels rewarding when you get it.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Yes. Yeah.
All three of you got it when got the blade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I
Yeah,
loved
definitely.
what I loved is when Inalga Saga dropped like the second part. Um,
Uh-huh.
all three of us were streaming at the exact same time, and all three of us got stuck on that end cutscene. Well, like, well,
Yeah, I
uh,
remember that. Oh, what a mess. Yeah, I remember that glitch.
uh,
So annoying.
thank you,
Yeah.
thank you so much for the bits, Mia. Much love, much love. Thank you to
Yeah,
everybody that's been
that was
donating.
problematic. But actually, you were able to help me out and pull me to the
Yeah,
right location. So it was like, yay! I was able to go
yeah.
through it anyways.
There was a workaround, not actually a fix, that you can do
Not a
if you had
fix.
like a developer account. You can just pull people to the right place. And I did that for a lot of players that night because I didn't want them to miss that part.
Right, right. Yeah, that was
I probably help around 50 or 60 players get that thing.
manually had to pull them there. Wow,
Yeah.
dang, kudos to you.
That's
Yeah, because people
insane.
saw me doing it, and then they keep tagging me to do it for the friends, and then the friends of the friends and the friends. So I got, oh my god,
Oh,
what I got myself into.
Yeah, because if you did it for some and
Ricochet.
not the others, then you would wake up to seeing
Yeah,
a big thing on Twitter about, oh, he's only pulling in his friends and nobody else could do it, and now they're so
Yeah,
much ahead
yeah,
and
I
blah
just
blah
had to
blah.
do it for everyone.
You know?
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That would be.
So I
He
took the
pulled
approach.
me for no reason, I swear. And then he slash killed me, bro.
That sounds like me. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
He slash killed me for no reason. What did I do?
uh,
I was just near him and I called him fat or something. I don't know. And then he got triggered and he killed me. What
more
did I do?
more cosmetic options in the barbershop. Yeah, we do need more cosmetic options in the barbershop. But hold on, I just want to say at this point, because I've had it in me since the beginning of this stream when people were asking, why am I wearing a dress? Right? I have been to the barbershop over 60 times in the past 24 hours. How difficult would it be to get a barbershop pet like how we have a bank pet?
Let me see. Let me see in a minute.
That would be awesome.
Give me a minute.
Bro.
That's hard, to be honest with you.
And while Fainal is taking yeah. No, Vale is the one that gave me that idea, and after doing it so many times, I just had to. So let's take
Yeah.
a quick break while Lack
Talk
actually had
about
a
what?
good idea. A good idea.
Yeah, well, Final looks behind the curtain.
Yeah, so we'll take a quick break, and I will show you guys why I am dressed like this. Okay? So
He probably didn't find a hair that suits the hat.
no, let's.
I bet.
No. I became each of the Tailor
Oh
Scouts.
man, he's gonna show them the video.
I'm
Oh
gonna
my
show them the
god.
video. That is exactly what I'm gonna do. So
That's
guys,
Guys, he showed me the video. I thumbs down it, you know. Go ahead, thumbs
uh,
down it as well. Trust me on this one.
all right. So this is my submission for the anime intro, and just bear in mind, I was each of these characters except Tuxedo Mask.
Nice little shadow. Okay.
Is this even in HD? No, it's not in HD.
It's an ugly.
These transitions was super hard to do.
No, they aren't. They take like 2 seconds.
2 seconds. I meant the changing of the clothes, Mads.
Yeah, 2 seconds. Don't worry about it, guys. Whoa, we were.
Yeah, I don't see an easy way to make this work. There is a lot of stuff that I can do on my own, given I have permission, but I don't see an easy way to do it. However, since we have the functionality, pet functionality, that's how I call it, the pet function, right? It is possible to tie an action to the pet. So if you guys really want it, I can able to like
let them know, introduce it, and say, okay, maybe this is a good idea to have just to carry your barbershop around you, just like
That'd
you do with
be
your bank.
awesome.
The bank
Definitely.
is, yeah, the crack pet, the one from the collection was an experiment of that, a proof of concept on how far we can do, what can do with only a pet. And it kind of works, the fact that you can update your shop and you can open your quests. So that opened the possibility of quest pets to be a thing. It's a system that we can utilize. That means that that same functionality can be used potentially, right, for barber shops or for other little shops like that.
Yeah.
It's just that the barber shop is set up specifically that it's not a regular shop like you will open, I don't know, your potion shops. It's
Yeah.
different.
Okay.
No, because
But it's not impossible.
I said I would ask because I've had to go through barbershop too many times. There's 5 of these guys, well, girls, that I've had to be changing into, like, so it's too much
No,
effort.
I get it. It's a cool quality of life stuff that
Yeah,
we
I mean
should
it's
look
not urgent,
into
but
introducing.
yeah.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. Stuff like that goes a long way.
So what do you guys think of
But
the
yeah.
video?
Amazing. Mind blow. It must have taken forever.
An amazing thumbs down.
No, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. I would now even try. I thought about entering just for fun, but I was just like,
I mean, because
the editing
that's what I
takes
did.
so long.
I can't win.
Right,
I
right.
made sure to specify that it was not an entry to win. It was just something I did purely for fun.
Yeah. No, but it's amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It would have taken forever. Like you would have had to have timed everything and
Man.
Yeah.
Took me about like
That's
6 hours of recording and about 4 or 5 hours of editing.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, well it shows though. It shows. Because that's got some quality right there. That's nuts. So how long is that? Just over a minute?
Yeah, that is just over a minute.
Just over a minute? Okay. Yeah. Wow. Good job.
All right, that's it for the ad. This video has been sponsored by Lag. All right. So, speaking of things that we like, Fainal, is there anything you can or would like to share with us that we can look forward to within the near future?
Within the bounds of my NDA.
Within the bounds of your NDA, yes.
Yeah. I can get some stuff ahead, stuff that I've been working, because I'm always working. If I'm not working on an official project, I'm working on side stuff, projects on my own that I can present to the team, or just fixing bugs. So, I can get some ahead. I can guarantee that Nullgat Part 3 is being worked on, because I'm part of the team that is working on it. So it's not a myth, like it is happening. I'm also gonna be involved with that, which means that there is gonna be more Nullgat farming for the dread of you, like there's gonna be more Nullgat farming.
Am I going to have to draw a flow diagram again?
Is it gonna be via quests, Fainal?
Yes. Yes,
okay,
that's
thank
mostly
God.
it.
I was about to say, bro, I swear to God, if you add a daily quest for 25 days, I'm gonna haunt you in PvP so bad, you're not gonna even beat test PvP again. Trust me, bro.
I will never do that. I actually don't agree that dailies should be involved with Nullgat farming. And since I'm basing this on the original, the OG farming, it is very unlikely that that's gonna be involved.
I think
right.
I think you can add a daily for people that can't afford to grind and play every daily. Do a mix of both. Like you can do a daily, and then you can do your repeatables. Like you know what Sansi had. It had a daily, but the daily gave a lot of rewards. But it's not that you have to do the daily for 25 days. It's just an optional daily to give you a little bit extra in case you need it.
That's the only way that as you present, that's the only way that I see it maybe happening. But knowing me, I probably won't do it.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, the problem with dailies is they took over everything. Like I can understand from a casual playstyle, but when you've got things like classes being unlocked only through the daily, and it's like the core, you know, and now it's become so lucrative because it's like the only fast way to get a class is by purchasing it with dragon crystals. So now the chance of dropping dailies for them is very unlikely because they can gain from it. So it's like, crap, now they're just going to keep the system forever, even though it was never a good system to begin with.
It seems like oversaturation of dailies. Like you have so many dailies to do and so many stuff to keep in your mind. And Nulgat farming is never intended to be like, okay, just do this simple task once a day and you get your rewards. I actually try to avoid that, going against that.
Okay.
There is a chance that I may be open to give dailies in a very specific scenario, maybe for a very specific resource that I may be open for it. But in general, I will avoid it as much as possible because, as Matt said, it's kind of counterintuitive. It's like it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, having to do something every single day for 25 days in a row is a no-no.
Yeah.
Let me take a sippy sip of my coffee.
And that's the whole thing. I don't want you to feel forced to be able to engage in the grind of the Nulgat farming, and introducing dailies kind of gives you that pressure. Yeah, kind of forces you to, I need to log in. My ideal experience for you is that you log in, right? Let's say you have 2 hours to progress. You have 2 hours to play the game. You log in, you get a few tainted gems, you trade them for that crystal shards, you do a few quests from Crack. I'm trying not to spoil anything. for Crack or the other NPC. You trade them for Phoenix runes, for example. You trade them for diamonds. Then my 2 hours are done. I need to log out. You log out. Then you cannot play in 3 days. You're not gonna be punished for not playing in 3 days. So you can progress.
Hear this? Just stack materials. Pre-stack materials start today. Easy, guys. Good job.
Yeah.
See, you can do it to that extent, and I allow you guys to pre-stack a certain amount, but there is a reason why you can only stack 13 diamonds, you can only stack 100 crystal shards, and the only material that I allow you guys to pre-stack is the tainted gems. You can have infinite of those.
Yeah.
But it's because I already prepared for that. That's why those limitations are there. So even if you pre-stack, I mean, I don't want. I shouldn't encourage you to pre-stack. So I took all those limitations to protect the economy. I was talking to a guy in a official when we released that this is intended to protect the economy. That's why all those limitations are there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You can
also, I just want to acknowledge Helly leaving, and thank him for stopping by. Thanks Helly for stopping by, and thank you for the bits. Thank you CC for the bits. Thank you Loaded Fury for the bits. Much love. Oh, yeah. Nix has a very good point. I bring this up all the time on my streams. The 2020 AQ3D Twitter community, for some reason, decided on dailies, and that's why we have the daily system that we have today for classes.
For classes, see, specifically, yeah.
Which the current AQ3D players don't want. So.
Yeah, I have my own opinion on that, but I think I'm gonna reserve it.
Yeah. Those things are better said off official platforms.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
excuse me.
I think personally they could do dailies for classes, but they can do like for certain classes you have to do quests. I don't know. I think that'd be fun. But it's a good change, so it benefits both parties, right? So then it's not like, it's all dailies, it's all quests, type of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all dailies. Whoops, it's all quests.
But also I think if you are doing a daily quest or any quest in general associated with a class, it should at least teach you about what the class does, so you don't have to go and read. But that's just me wanting to be spoon-fed.
Watch a Yogi video.
Watch a Yogi video. Hey, welcome to the chat, Sir Lucas.
Shameless plug.
In EQW, it feels like an event when a class drops because everyone's trying to do the quest, trying to farm reputation, and then you try to rank it up. We still have some of that when we release classes because the people that just buy the class immediately, or they do the first daily and then they go into ranking up. And since we have 100 ranks, right? Even if you're late to the grind, you'll still see like people farming in Hairgood,
social district. Now probably the raid, if we introduce a class when the raid is still up, still living, right? So you still get that kind of event, but to a lesser degree compared to AQW.
Right.
That's an interesting
that's
question.
true.
Yeah.
Vale asks, and I don't know if this is something you're able to answer, Fainal, but why do we have to pay class tokens for skin items for a class that you paid DC for?
I guess it's because okay, so there is a reason about that, and I understand why. It's because it is a way to like gameize. Gameize. What is the word? Game.
Immersion.
No. To make the whole experience that we are like selling you, right? The class skin. To make it a game, to make it like content.
Oh,
so
like a
you
DLC.
can
It's a DLC. I downloaded a
exactly
DLC for
like
my
an
class.
expansion. Yeah, a mini DLC, a mini expansion that you get.
Okay.
So you get the DLC, right,
Oh,
so to speak, which is kind of what we introduce with this thing is
jeez.
Right.
it's hard,
Okay,
it's really weird because we don't use those terms in the game, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I can understand that. So I mean, yeah, because technically, so you're buying the class skin, and then everything else, or the class itself, I guess. So then everything else just kind of
yeah, exactly extra you can grind, that you can get your tokens, and I actually like the system a lot when you get something immediately for your purchase and then you unlock everything else if you play the game, if you play the content.
Well, I mean, other games do that. Even Fortnite does that. They'll have a thing you have to buy with real life money. Like it's like $16 to buy this skin, but you also get these quests. And if you play through these quests, you get like 4,000 or 400, V-Bucks or something like that. So you're getting something extra beyond just the skin.
I feel a cough coming on. Battle Pass. Sorry. Battle Pass.
I didn't hear what you said.
It almost feel Battle Passy. The class skins cosmetics
I
almost feel
was coughing.
Battle Passy, but it's not an exact 1-to-1. So a battle pass will be like a Fortnite battle pass, right? Or a Halo battle pass, or.
But yeah, because AQ3D is AQ3D is a menagerie of so many things, so it's impossible to create.
Well, we talked about a battle pass in the past. In one of the other streams.
Yeah, the last one actually.
Was it the last one?
Yeah.
Is the battle pass gonna include some PvP?
Speaking of PvP, can we get like a map for open world PvP? Where we just have like a
What
whole
do you mean? What are you
pass?
talking about? Last poll showed 100% PvE, 0% PvP.
Yeah, okay? But like a scaled open world PvP map. Sansi free for all.
If you start speaking Sansi for all.
You mean like the Guardian Arena?
You want a battle royale?
Yeah, something like that, like a battle royale mode. There we go.
That would be awesome. I pushed for a battle royale mode way back when the game first came out. I was like, "Is there any chance of a battle royale?" And Artix actually replied and said, "Yep, that's possible." I was like, "What?" I made a whole video about it. Like AQ3D could be getting it. Of course, that was 6 years ago.
Let me say one thing that could probably ruin the game for a lot of people. Because imagine if it's all the ninja mains just walking in the desert, and you walk into one and you just get absolutely, rubbed with the floor, and you couldn't do anything. So what would you do in that situation?
Run ninja.
Run ninja? Yeah, good luck beating them.
Yeah. I am not reading that follow, but thank you for the follow.
Excuse me?
Okay.
You're not reading the
Big
follow?
Pat Venus. Nice.
But yeah,
nice,
yeah, like,
amazing name, man.
I don't know, like something more interactive content, things that would be easy to do to get plays in. Like I want to look forward to doing things when I come in. I don't want to just do this raid for 2 minutes and then I'm done. And I want to actively engage.
That's the problem with dailies. See, like that's why I cannot put dailies in Nulga. That's exactly why, because I don't want you to feel that way.
Yeah.
With that specific content, that's the reason. That's the
Right.
thing, that with that specific content, it works out. But regular main progression content can have dailies, and I think it kind of should, because it's already kind of ingrained in our game that people expect it. I don't know. You guys recall? I think it was part one of Nulgat. If I'm mistaken, correct me. I don't think it was part two. But one of the criticisms that we saw a lot in Nulgat Part 1 is, where are the dailies? Where are my dailies? Why I cannot do dailies? Until eventually the Paladin one was introduced. But during the first 2 weeks, everyone was asking, where are the dailies? I'm like, but I thought people didn't like dailies, and we were so confused about it. But people were demanding dailies because the dailies were not present. I'm like,
wow.
what do you want, people? What do you want?
Yeah. No, I would like to grind for things that I can flex. I would like to grind for things that I can use. Like I go to Little CO. I used to before you guys fixed my exploit. It was not an exploit, but before you guys fixed the food buff stuff, I used to go to Little CO every day to do my dailies there, so I can get my jerky because I like running haste.
Oh, right.
Right.
The jerky days, yeah, I love. I used to do the same, by the way. So don't worry about it.
So yeah, things like that. When you grind for meaningful things that you can use,
Right.
or just add more things to be able to craft, like I don't know, make fish more usable, make things that are in the game do more. It's already
Can
there,
we get mining?
bro. Hey yo, is that Hot Grandma 69420?
Man.
What a name.
Mining aside, when is fishing gonna be relevant? Or is gonna feel relevant? Because first of all, getting to fishing 50 does not help me at all.
Yeah, but Dagger's gone.
So what? I'm not saying implement ways. I'm saying the fish that we are catching make the food buffs good. They're not good.
No,
The
the
fish buff
end
50?
game food buffs are good, Mads. The one in social
No, they're
district.
not. They're not. I've tried them out. They're not. They're not good on their own. They're not good. When they're paired up with other buffs, yes, they are good.
Yes,
But
they're
now
good.
you can't
Okay,
do
I
that.
see.
Yeah, now you can't do that. So make them good. Make them useful. Make me feel like, okay, I grinded to 50. I feel like now those fish cookies that I get from the sewers, which sounds disgusting, is
You
amazing.
can't get anything from the sewers.
You make
You
fish.
can.
Mad. All right,
No, not
guys.
anymore,
You
you
heard
can't.
you heard it here first. You make fish
Man,
cookies
what
in
are
the
you talking
sewers.
about? I'm about to roast Gold Raven. Give me a minute.
Okay, go to the sewers and tell me if you catch anything.
You don't catch cookies. You catch legendary fish that you can turn into cookies.
Yeah.
I didn't catch any legendary fish.
Oh my god, Gold Raven.
Your RNG
Are you
is
even
worse than
level
mine.
50?
Go to the sewers and fish. If you catch like one of the legendaries, let me know.
What is my fishing level?
Because I haven't caught any.
Do I get a new Corin bag? I wanna.
Well, I don't know if I can say that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment. The whole thing about food buffs feeling not rewarding to use. Yeah, iffy. I think right now they're definitely on an iffy place that I do not like either. Like I get it. I also am a food enjoyer.
It was because of the exploit that was happening with them, right? That was just a quick fix to fix it.
Yeah, precisely. There was an exploit that was making people have like almost infinite stats, and we had to address it, and we had to.
So, is there any way that it could restore, like, if they were to fix that, officially fix the exploit, then would it be possible to restore the stuff back to what they were, or is that not feasible?
From the technicality side, that's really not feasible because you will be pretty much asking us to go back to a previous build, and that's a big issue. Removing something is kind of a big deal because then you have to replace it. And this is with my limited coding knowledge, just what I have learned from the coders, from watching them work, like talking with them to understand how complex it is. But it's really complex. So doing that specifically what you asked is it's almost not feasible. It's too complex.
Right.
Moving forward, they can be addressed on a better way.
True.
Okay. Right, moving forward. Right, okay, that makes sense.
I'm just looking at the chat here, and I don't understand. CC said she would grind for pet rewards. I have I barely ever did a pet feed daily. I don't have any of the pets from Arya's pet shop. I don't understand, and that's just and that's how players are different.
Oh yeah, some people kill for pets.
Exactly.
Like
Everybody wants
they
pets,
love it.
but you can only use one at a time. You can.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome to the stream, Ivory. What's up?
Oh, disrespecting people that like pets.
No, I'm
Well,
not
like
disrespecting. I just say I don't understand the hype around
it's
it, but
amazing.
it's like it's cool that if people want to grind for pets, you can include more pet quests, pet
Head, bro.
quests for pets.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Like just add more
Quests that
stuff to
rewards you
the
pets?
Aria stuff. Yeah, like add more Aria quests
Okay.
and yeah. So for people who want to collect pets, and then
I mean, you say that, but the last pet quest that we had there got so much backlash.
Because
The
of the way it was
little doggy.
implemented, that was like a week long. Oh,
Yikes, man.
that was like, yeah.
Yeah. I actually like the quest idea. I didn't not because of the long crafting times, but what I like about those style of quests is the fact that the community works together to solve these like
Riddles,
puzzles,
yeah.
and it's a lot of fun. Like when I'm online, we're talking. A bunch of us are like, okay, so wait, you got to go over here. No, I tested these guys. It's not over here, so it's got to be back with those other ones. Let's go test these guys over here. You're working with other
fun.
people. It's like it's exciting to and then you're like, holy crap, we found it on this guy, and
it makes the guild relevant. Like it makes you being in the
it
guild
makes
relevant.
the community relevant.
And, and the community. I agree.
Yeah.
People work with each other. They share stuff in Discord. They share stuff on Twitter, on their guilds. They try to be the first ones to figure it out.
Yeah. Like I remember
exactly.
one night we were streaming at when the April Fools, the chicken cow dropped, and all of us were rushing to do it right on stream, and I think Mads, Helimod, I think it was Ace. We were the first ones to get it, and then it ended up on the AEF server. Yeah, it is a good feeling when you are like, if you are somebody that's on the ball with updates, then yes.
Exactly. Yeah. That's awesome though.
It's a good feeling.
I think the downside with that other one that you were talking about, I think it was
the
because
craft
of
timers.
I mean, what was it like 24-hour craft and 12-hour? I think that's what hurt it. And there was no shortcut.
Nope.
Or anything. There was no way to skip it. So it made it even worse. That was the problem. I don't think it was the quest line at all.
Because usually when we get stuff that has long craft times, we get the option to speed it up for 25 DC.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Which would have made sense when you think about it, because I mean, from a financial standpoint, if they had some kind of extension, there could have been a shortcut. Because I know I would have paid.
Yeah. Same.
Wow. Pay to win Gold Raven?
Bro.
Hey, it's not pay to win. There's no benefit.
There was something that you had to craft 20 times, and I think I just bought it with DC when I came back. I can't remember what that was.
Legend.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? That wasn't the bundle, was it?
For a recent quest. I don't know if it was something in Atlantis or what. I don't know. Can't remember what it was.
Because I know there was one of them required the clothing bundle, like a bunch of them, and I didn't want to run that quest.
Oh yeah, I did that as well. Yes.
Yeah, so I just bought the
dwarven ingots. Yeah, the dwarven ingots.
Dwarven ingots. Yeah. It's nice though to have that option because it's good for those of us who don't have the time and have the extra dragon crystals and stuff. So and those who can't afford it, well, big deal. You can still get it. It's just gonna take longer.
Yep. It's because it's not pay to win. It's pay for convenience at that point.
Yeah.
Speaking of pay to win, actually this has nothing to do with pay to win. It's just been on my mind. I want to know. Artix had mentioned a while ago about needing to fix the RNG in the game because the RNG was broken. Has it been fixed? Or
so to save myself trouble, I will emit no comment of that.
Okay,
because
that's fine.
yeah, this is risky territory. I don't know exactly what the answer is. I don't know what he meant by that. I don't know if he meant like literally broken or if he meant that the way that we utilize it
No,
or that we
he was
designed it
saying something
is not
about the
ideal.
percentages. Like if there is a 1% chance to get something, then if you kill something 100 times, then you should at least see it once, not kill it 10,000 times and not see it once. You know?
That
Then it
technically,
definitely does not work. Bomber
that
has been giving me a headache.
like, but see, that's not how it works. Like the way that RNG works is like throwing a dice that has 20 sides. So
Yeah.
if you're only looking for one number, you've got 20 times to roll it. If it's a 1%, you're going to be rolling that dice how many times it's going to take, because it could show the same number 20 times in a row or show the number. Perfect example, on AQ World earlier today, I was farming for something for an enchantment and it's a 1% drop. I got it in 3 kills. But then the second farm I was going for was also a 1% drop. I was there for at least 35 minutes. So it really depends on the thing. Like I understand when some things are broken to the extent of what I think Artix was saying,
Yeah.
where it takes a long time to get something, but there's also things that people farm for that are intentionally low, like the Midas Curse or the Soulborn Axe. You know, like if he was to adjust those
rare things
things
should remain rare, I think.
Right. I agree.
But
Yeah,
also,
because if I were to buff the I remember specifically that when people were asking me on day one to buff the shovel blade, and I took the right decision in my mind to ignore them all. Because if I did that, people would have lynched me. Because why would you make a quest that is supposed to be a rare, right? And
Right,
give it a rare
exactly.
importance. And then some people
Exactly.
get it, and then
but
you buff it. Oh, that's not a recipe for disaster. But
also,
yeah, it depends on the intention.
also on the
Yeah.
flip side, I think, how should I word this? There's also the issue of player burnout, because you know there are a lot of players that really want these rare items and they just keep going at it and going at it for months on end, and they just quit out of frustration. They're like, they're done. Okay, I can't get this. Done. Uninstall. That is the downside of
Yeah.
certain having too many rare farms.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Farming bomber will literally bomber travel farm is literally one of the most that gave me a headache. Farming that it gave me a headache. I think I've ran the dungeon at least easily over 4,000 times at this point.
Yeah.
I still run it till today, and I swear to God, dude, I haven't gotten that travel form. I can't get it. I can't. It's like my account has been marked by AE or something, dude. Bro, Fainal, fix my account, please. Thank you.
By the way, that's something that's not real. So many people I do actually believe that. By the way, that
do they actually though?
Yeah, like honestly, see, can you fix the amount of times I have seen that in bug reports? Can you fix my account RNG? I think it's broken.
Really?
That is not real, people. That's not a real thing. I don't know what you guys are talking about. You sound insane when you say that.
I've heard people in my comments say that too, actually. Been like, I think something's wrong with my RNG because my friend got this item that I've been going for and they only farmed it a few hours. It's like, well, yeah, like me with the Frogzard head. That was like 35 minutes to get that thing. I know people that have been farming that thing for years and haven't got it. But so it just depends on how lucky.
It has come to a point that it has like gaslighting me into believing that there is maybe actually a bug, because I have the tester mindset. If there is a chance that something can potentially be broken, I have to make sure that it's working.
I think
so it have actually pushed me to spawn like 1,000, 2,000 things in dev server to test it. Okay, yeah, it's working. It's not actually glitch. I wasted 2 hours of my time. I'm really happy about it.
Check to see if it works. Well, that was like, what's the item that drops in the Doomwood things there? It's a sword that drops.
King's Ransom.
Ransom? Keys?
Ransom, yeah, the keys.
No,
the keys,
not
keys.
not the ransom. It's something else.
The wicked joke?
No.
Do you mean shiny? And that like?
No, that's not in Doomwood. This isn't Doomwood. It's in. I think it's in the Bone Cliffs. Like Embrel's thing. It's
Umbral
it's like
Caves.
Doom
Emerald
Ripper.
Caves, yeah.
The Doom Reaper. Yeah.
The Doom
What's
Ripper.
up with that?
Doom Ripper.
I have not
yeah,
got
yeah.
that. I have not got that. And I farmed that thing the second it came out. I spent, I would say, an average, like within my lifetime since I've played it, I would say 2 years of farming I've put
Got
into
a
that.
Midas yet? Same thing. Ever since I started, I farmed Midas, never got it.
Oh, okay. I see. And I got Midas. It took like 3 farming sessions, but I finally got it.
How do you have Midas? Okay, I'm just gonna ban this guy really
Midas. So that was actually because we used to do farming things, farming events
quick. The
at that
paladin
dungeon.
bug.
The what?
I don't know. Does anyone remember the paladin bug where like you could heal across the map if you're at a party and you can break the
Our,
chest?
so
I have
I
a really funny story about that. I have a really funny story about that.
Okay.
I knew about that thing, and I remember that when we were like addressing Paladin's issues in the PTR, I was in a voice chat with Bat, with Brave and Fraud back then, with Blaze, and they were all thinking, seeing the reports like, what do they mean by infinite range Paladin?
I think
have no idea. And I was playing dumb because I was having so much fun with that thing, and I was playing like pretending I
think
didn't
my-
know what it was.
I think my group of friends and I were the last group of people to get reported for that because we were doing like confession time. And we were having fun with it, man. It's just like we'd been 4 different corners and just good to go. I didn't know it was an exploit.
It was a little bit of a problem in PvP. So eventually they directly asked me. I remember specifically that Ravenfest, I said in my mind, like I just decided, as long as they don't directly ask me, I'm fine pretending that I don't know what they're talking about. So at one point, Ravenfest must have caught up onto it, and he said, Fainal, do you have any idea what these guys are talking about when reporting about this infinite range healing? And I said, okay, yeah, I know what it is. This is what they're talking about.
This guy, bro. This guy.
And I told them, in my defense, I was having so much fun and it's so useful in PvE that I didn't want to report it. And then everyone was like, wow, Fainal.
Bro.
Wow, this
That
guy.
is hilarious.
No, but if
Oh,
there's
man.
one thing AQ3D players have a tenacity for finding exploits and using them. But I will say that with existing content, not new content, because when we release, in our defense, we do not know that something is broken unless people say this is broken, don't do this. Okay? That's my take.
Yeah.
Okay.
The issue with exploit is that it's inevitable. People find them, and it's part of the game, and it's part of every game. Every games have exploits.
Oh, yeah.
They have like little tricks that you can get. Some of them are like harmless. Like you almost feel like exactly. Sometimes it's an instance of players being smart. Like that's smart that they're doing that. That's kind of clever. I mean, you can't really blame them for optimizing a grind. But when it becomes a problematic exploit, something that almost is expected from you to do, and that causes problem, that causes frictions between the players. Like if you don't do the exploit, we're gonna kick you out of the dungeon. If you don't do the exploit, I'm gonna yell at you and I'm gonna insult you in party chat until you do the exploit because you are dumb and you don't know how to use it and you're making me be slow and you're a noob, right? So when we come into those situations, we have to patch the exploit out because it's causing issues, it's causing trouble. If the exploit don't have those bad interactions and it's something relatively harmless, we don't mind it leaving because it's just them being smart, right?
What I think you guys need to do.
Yeah, but then why you removed the armor break and weaken bug, huh? That was so good on G Fuel.
What?
The one that was used in G Fuel?
Yeah, bro, that was so amazing. G Fuel is healing you and you're just sitting there.
Scorpion. It was using Scorpion as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was using both in G Fuel and in Scorpion. Yeah, that was really good.
Oh.
Yeah,
really good.
But
my favorite exploit was the one in the dungeon there where you could just run through, skip over top of the hill in the new dungeon in Atlantis.
Yeah,
you can skip right through and then complete the quest in like 3 minutes.
Oh my God.
The thing that would have left us with 2 options. One is, and the thing that I just described, the fact that people were like kicking people out of the dungeon, happened a lot in the log there. People were briefing each other for not doing the exploit, or they had no patience with each people. So we had to patch it. It was either patch it.
So many people were thinking that I was the one that caused. They're like, "Oh, way to go, Raven! Now the devs are going to patch it." Like, what are you talking about?
Well,
Goldberg.
I mean,
before
you didn't.
Okay,
You didn't
yeah, I want to make this statement so to kind of protect Raven from now on. Whatever Raven says, I already know about it. Whenever you guys think that I don't know about like XP farm or like an exploit, I already know. Even if you
bro.
try to keep it secret, I play this game. I have 12K hours. There is not a thing that's gonna keep my side, or if it's keep my side, some of the other testers are gonna catch it because they also play the game.
So
So
here's
point fingers.
instead.
as I say,
All right. So what it comes across as to players, right? And I'm sure you realize it as well. Is like you're like, okay, here you go, guys. Here's a big bowl of candy, and then you take it back. Right? After we've already started indulging in the candy, you just take it back. And we didn't know
Yeah.
that we weren't supposed to touch the candy. We didn't know that that was forbidden candy, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you take it back. So obviously I'm angry. So what you can probably
Yeah, it feels
do
bad. It feels bad.
is just get a bunch of tryhards. You have like 10 million of them on Discord. You know, get them to sign some sort of NDA contract and get them to look. You have people like Yogi and Mads, people who will break things and show you that things are broken before it's released. So I don't know if
Yeah, but
that's
the
possible.
problem
How
is,
much,
it
no matter how much we
changes.
prepare, yeah, no matter how much we prepare for stuff like this, and we do prepare. Like I remember specifically running the locker until I memorized that dungeon.
Yeah.
And my colleagues, my testers, and the map builder, all like running it. But there's some things that are gonna be impossible in the testing phase, and they only show up in live. Why?
Once you're in live,
live
because it's a
servers.
different client and everything.
Because you tend to profit.
What about
You
PTR?
ideally what you're saying will have been avoided in PTR, the way that you're expressing it. Like, however, whenever we did that in the past, that was never the case. Always the biggest stuff was found in live, even though we did testing in PTR back then, right?
Yeah.
Always was found in live because people will tend to profit from it.
Dude, Siege is the best example. When Siege was added on PTR, it was working fine. But the second we moved it to live, it had a lot of bugs and pathing and a lot of
like the pathing issues with the mobs and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of it. Most of it happened.
Yeah.
It didn't happen on PTR. We were having fun on PTR. We were having a blast.
It's a sad reality of quality assurance is that no matter how hard you try, you will never be able to replicate the live experience. And when it goes live, that's when you really know if the testing was enough or not.
There's no shame. There's nothing wrong with documenting that and being like, hey, players, this isn't working in like patch notes, and give us some compensation. You know, like a little 2,000 gold or something. I don't know.
You already got the compensation when exploiting the thing, getting 7 times.
No, I mean, like,
10 minutes.
You take the server down to make a fix, and you give us a compensation for the patch. That's what most games do.
The best thing that happened was when they had the vouchers like added originally.
Oh no, and the tryhards finished it at first.
Juliet, and Hale legit finished the blade really quick.
Yeah.
And then they patched it because I don't know. I think it was Fainal that patched it, or no, I don't know who.
Yeah, I had to patch it. It was me. It was me.
I was just laughing at my guildmates farming, and I was just sitting there in my chair. Oh man, it feels so great.
The thing is, like, I had 2 options. I could have not patched that, but I would have to nerf the Phoenix Blade to like level 32 or 35 because it was too easy to get, and that was never the intention to it. So there is always that we can leave it, right? But that means that the rewards have to be adjusted because the amount of effort that you're putting is not equal to the reward that you're putting.
Yeah, but we put an effort into finding the loophole.
Yeah, and you got your reward by getting the blade early. A blade that should have taken you 2 weeks. You got it in like.
You got it.
Okay. So I understand. Y'all get forbidden candy when we exploit bugs in Genshin. We either end up below the map, so far high up in the sky. Oh, that's not what I meant. It was an analogy.
We can always be crueler, and we can just take away the blades of everyone that got it and say no, start again. But don't do that.
You did it the wrong way.
You didn't do it the way that I wanted you to do it, so now I get it. I'm taking your candy away.
That's like school back in the day. I swear to God, it used to be like that.
Yeah, we can be crueler, but we choose not to do that. We allow you guys
Right.
to keep your exploited goods, your exploited rewards. Okay, yeah, you got us. You are smart. Come on, keep it out, but no more. Okay, got it, got it.
No, but the way you guys do things these days, you have to be. I realize you guys have to be really careful because of how prevalent social media is and how damaging cancel culture has
Yeah,
become.
Oh
And
my goodness.
Artix has taken a very bold move to TikTok, to branch out to TikTok, which is a very dangerous platform
Oh my
because
goodness, I
that is
know.
the heart of cancel culture. Yeah, Twitter is bad and Twitter is toxic, and Twitter is like the PvP of the internet. But
Mhm.
Twitter,
the PvP of the internet. I've never heard that.
right?
That's
I
really
should
good.
join there.
Yeah, TikTok is. If you think that
Should go
Twitter is
represent.
bad, you can block people on Twitter and stuff, but when things go viral on TikTok, they go viral on every other platform because people just steal it,
Yeah.
downloadable, and is there, and
Yeah,
you don't want
exactly.
AQ3D to get that kind of negative publicity.
Yeah, but it's a double-edged sword. Once it gets,
Mm.
published and gets more popular, the game is out there. So,
Right.
but if it gets out there in bad light, oh no.
Which is why I've started back doing these streams and the discussion streams to help because I noticed there's a lot of negativity on Twitter and there's a lot of drama all over the place. So these streams are important to let people know that it's not all doom and gloom. It's not
Negative.
all
I'm
bad.
I'm in the wrong circles on Twitter because I don't see drama, at least not in my feed. But I follow very specific people,
Mm,
like so
I don't
I don't
even
follow just everybody.
I don't follow
Let
the
me tell
people that
you.
the drama is. Thing.
Let me tell you.
Mm,
You follow them, you don't follow them, you will see that drama
because
either
of the
way.
algorithm.
Because yeah, the
I
algorithm
don't.
is there. You'll see it. Eventually, you'll see it. Trust me. You'll be able to see it. I think it's just those specific days that you need to hop in on Twitter to be able to see them.
There's no
Even
specific days. You
The
could
only
hop in right
reason
now.
why I'm aware of certain dramas is just because people will
message
tell
you.
me about it. Like, yeah, they'll message me, hey, did you see what's his name said? Like, who's that guy? Oh, that guy, he was a guy that did that. I have no idea. I can't remember people from yesterday. So,
I'm just like I just sometimes I just close it. I need to stay clear of it. But if it's
oh, I
something that
never,
you need to
I,
get
I
involved in,
never
like
get
if
involved.
somebody's being bullied and you need to step in and stand up for them, then that's something I would do. Like there was an
Yep.
instance of
Right,
somebody
right.
trying to sell somebody's account. It wasn't even their account. I don't know if I'm at liberty to say whose account they were trying to sell. It was a fake post,
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah,
right? And
yeah. I saw that.
yeah, yeah, Akalesson, I didn't know if you're okay with me saying that it was
Oh,
you.
okay. Oh, yes. Yeah, okay. I did see that as
Right?
well.
And
Yeah.
it's dumb. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't log
That's
into Twitter.
crazy.
yeah. But if you want to keep abreast with the drama goal event,
Down to Callison.
I could just send you the tweets and DMs. It's fine.
No, I don't. I don't involve myself. I like to stay out of drama.
Thank you for all of the
Too much
followers, guys.
drama in real life. Ooh, more
We are
follows.
trying to get to 900, so anything and everything is
Ooh.
helpful. Vale is still dissatisfied. Oh, there's zero communication when Atlantis came out. People had no idea that it wasn't working as intended. Oh, that's the same as with the Caldera. So I think what we discussed last stream, when Blaze was here and Fainal was in the chat and not in the VC,
Yeah, yeah, I remember.
was that they have limited resources to do
Yeah.
the design notes and the patch notes and stuff. But I would like patch notes for every like major changes like that. Like when a dungeon is broken and it gets fixed, I would like a patch note for that. It's just that simple.
Right, right. So then that way you're able to follow up. Well, that's similar to on console. Like if you have a PS4 or whatever, when you get an update, you'll load up your PS4 or your console, and then you see, oh, one of your games has an update, and you have no idea what it is, but you can go and you can check the information, which will tell you what, like, oh, this has just been a hot fix for stability, or like something like that. It's just a small little thing giving you small little notes. Something like that would definitely be helpful for players to kind of be aware of what changes has occurred.
Yep.
Because it's not always.
I agree. And
especially if it's in game, would make it.
Yeah, I'm a huge simp for patch notes. I love them, and I also love writing them. When I was writing the Nulgat changes farming system, I had so much fun writing all of that, and internally I kind of spoil our devs because I write single thing that I do, and single thing that I change. I write it into a patch note for us.
Oh, he said the word. He said the word. No.
So we know the.
Don't worry, Twitch.
What?
Twitch won't understand his accent. It's fine. You said the S word.
What did I say?
It starts with an S and ends with a P, but Twitch wouldn't pick it up. Don't worry. Your accent is fine.
Okay.
But that's a banned word on Twitch.
Oh. Ah. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so sorry, I forgot about
Oh
that.
yeah. He said shrimp because it's time for yeah.
I'm gonna get you banned.
It's time for dinner. That's why he said shrimp. I see.
Yeah. Yeah. So as I was saying, I'm a big patch notes aficionado, a fanatic. And I have so much fun writing them. And internally, I write patch notes for the devs, so they know what I'm doing, they know what I touch, so they are informed of specifically what I'm doing. And I share with them, and it works wonders for us. I would love to be able to write patch notes, but the issue is that I'm not the right person. I will only be able to write patch notes for the specifics that I work on. And when that happens, I usually manage to somehow make it squeeze into patch notes or design notes.
Okay.
Even though I'm in the knowing of everything that is going on, or a lot of stuff that is going on, I'm not always the best to write this stuff. But I get what you guys are saying. I love patch notes as well. I think they're a necessity.
And I know you guys. I know you guys hear me talk about Traha all the time. It's a new game I'm hooked on, but they give me when my phone goes off at 2 o'clock in the morning because they post patch notes. I wake up, I read the patch notes, and I'm like, all right, I'll do this tomorrow, and I close my phone, go back to sleep, and I wake up happy, because I know what I'm waking up to, and we do get compensation.
Yeah.
We get like diamonds. But anyway.
Well, yes, of course, because it's a pay to win.
At least I can assure you that anything that goes into Nulgat farming, because there's gonna be changes. I'm not gonna nail it the first time because I'm planning on including a lot of stuff for Nulgat farming.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
is it going to be having the new scaling or the old?
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Question.
This is a tricky way.
Okay.
Before we do that, I'm gonna go to the bathroom because I'm
Okay.
about to make a mess.
All right, so we can actually show Fainal.
Let's
Let's get set up to show Fainal. Why? Who would bring this here? Stop it! Why would you bring him on top here, bruh?
It says viewers. What?
No. Somebody brought the bot on top of the platform.
Easy.
Stop it.
I really like those outfits though, like the Sailor Moon outfits.
Yeah.
She did a really good job with those.
Really good job.
Bro. Artix was tweeting about some suits, bro.
Yeah, I'll bother him
okay,
about that.
that's yeah. Artix did say something about a male version, and it's like, really? That would be awesome. Someone
She just needs to give us
a tuxedo thing, but we already do technically have.
Yeah.
The tuxedo.
But they could give us like a hat with a tuxedo mask, as like an all-in-one cosmetic.
Yeah.
We don't have a white suit, bro. A white suit with like colors added onto it, bro.
Yeah, so Raven, what I'm going to do is I am going to head to the moon with my main, and I'll pull up my alt as well, so I can show Fainal what we mean by the new scaling.
To you and laugh at you.
Okay, so I'm going where?
And by the way, I did get a legendary fish.
What?
Mr. Gold Raven.
Wait, you got what?
Legendary fish from the sewers.
Which fish?
It's the turtle, assassin turtle.
You got the.
Yeah, you get. There's legendaries from the sewers. You can farm in there. I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you know what? I think I should change back to male first, but that's like 500 DC.
Okay, what about the sewer gator?
Yeah, you can get the sewer gator.
But you got the sewer gator?
They're in. Okay, let me explain.
I mean, recently.
I did because I did recently get to level 50 fishing. So
how recent are you talking? Within the last?
So okay, I was completing the tiers. I don't know if you know what the tiers do. They give you like the Gil pet.
Yes, I know all that. I've had 50 for over a year now.
He doesn't. That's why. Anyways, but
I don't actually have Gilly though. I don't have Gil because it was way too much.
To get Gil for the legendary token, right? You need to get both the legendaries from the sewer.
Right. But I'm saying the sewer gator doesn't drop now. I've had people on my comments posting for the last week saying that they've been farming, they can't get it.
It's two different nodes. It's two different nodes. Gold Raven.
Yeah, I know. Like the turtle drops in one, and the sewer gator drops in the other, but the sewer gator isn't dropping. And I just assumed that the turtle wasn't dropping as well. I was like, oh, maybe.
So you cannot get the turtle. Okay, I'll go try right now.
Well, they didn't say they couldn't get the turtle. I just assumed you couldn't get the turtle because you couldn't get the sewer gator. One person said they farmed for 3 days. They said 3 days I've been farming at this spot and I can't get this sewer gator.
This tails back to like rare farming and all of that. It's just
how there that rare.
Honestly.
All right, welcome back, Fainal. If you are looking at stream, I just want to show you real quick what we were talking about with the scaling. So this is the new.
Teleport to him in game.
Yeah, this is the new map. Yeah, my summon code is Key96.
Wow, doesn't have him added as a friend. Remove this guy.
Bro, I only got a friend request yesterday. What do you mean?
Oh. why is your alt name my alt?
Because it's my alt.
Dude, that's the most legendary name ever. I didn't think of that.
Bro. Alright, so look at this one in the middle here, right? Right, it has 4,658 health, and I am going to use a sever on it. Right? See,
what?
It does 25%, right?
Okay.
Right, could somebody kill that? Thank you.
Samurai, only for the best. Alright, let's go.
Alright, and let's look at this other one here. It still has, for me, it has 515 HP, but it's at 100%, right? So, let me click on it with this one so you can see it on stream. So it's at 100%, right? I'm going to use Sever on it, 20%. So it does effectively less damage.
On the alt, because it's lower by like 3 levels. It isn't lower by like a level where like the alt does more damage, you know?
Yeah. So it's easier scaling on this map, but if we go to the other moon map, how do we get there?
Other moon map is so garbage.
Alright, so we go to world areas, special locations, moon. Alright.
Even though I love the gear that's there because it's so awesome.
It is, right?
Yeah, is that question? Why are you wearing? Why are you Blaze?
You have a problem with me? Huh?
You don't
want to go?
PvP. You don't even PvP. Let's go,
bro.
I do PvP, just not recently.
I haven't been seeing you. I've been counting lately. I don't see you.
I know. I've got to start up. It's been so long. Wait, did I leave already? Yeah.
Yeah, lag left already. Okay. Let me
this is the new one?
Yeah, this is the new one. So I'm going to see how much my server does on this one, because I know we did test it, and you tested it in your video. We've all tested it. But this is just to...
Yeah, I tested it.
Yeah.
It was atrocious.
Alright, so...
Like, you guys want to spend 10 years farming for a rare? Good luck.
So this is... I'm going to do a sever on this. Oh my god, I did a sever on midair.
Nice. Amazing.
Nice. Woo! Everybody give him a hand.
Alright. So this sever does 7% on my main. Right?
That is garbage.
Somebody can kill it. Just kill it.
Can do everything on his own, I swear to God. Giving me a headache all these days, man.
Alright.
Does everything give you a headache?
Alright, and now
yes.
now look at this one. I'm gonna do sever with my alt, my level 13 alt on this one. And
where's your alt?
Oh my god, it missed. Alright, so
I don't
Oh my god, he doesn't know how to throw severs. Go watch guides.
And that did
That
10%.
did 10%. Yeah, that did 10%.
So
Fainal.
I'm doing more.
More
He's doing
damage,
more
lower level.
I'm
damage
doing more
on the
damage.
scaling that is like lower by like 1 level. But the scaling on the new map is lower by like 3 levels. So
Yeah,
when you're a higher level, you do more
you
damage
get
anyway.
so
So
this map has the old scaling implemented. So I get punished for being level, what level am I? 40. I get punished for being level 40 as opposed to being level 13 on this map. But on the other map, it is the other way around. I get rewarded for being level 40 as opposed to it makes incentivize me to level up with my level 13. I can log off with my alt now. Let me do a little wave. Go wave to screen. Where is this?
You gotta find it.
How do I get? How do I?
just log off. You're embarrassing yourself. Just log off.
there we go. I will wave now. There we go.
All right.
I'll do a little wave.
So, what do you think? It's gonna have the new scaling or the old scaling? I guess that's what they're calling it.
Yeah. You asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know why you guys are calling it new scaling because okay, how do I
Get him, dude. They've been arguing with me last time. Get him.
how do I say this? I should probably avoid this topic entirely.
All right. Okay.
To not get in trouble.
Get him.
Let me
I'm
think.
right. This guy, yeah, you see that guy over there wearing the blaze set? He's been arguing with me on Twitter, calling it the new scaling technique. Get him.
What are you guys been arguing about? What are the
Well,
two
The
points
old
of
old
argument?
this
versus
is
new
what
map.
it is. They've literally what Mad says is they've reduced the levels, but they did more than that because Clarion
They did.
went in. No, that's not all they did because you notice that Lag's alt did more damage. I mean, did less damage. If it was the
Nice.
exact same as it was here, then it
Yeah.
wouldn't
The
be
thing
the same.
is,
So
the thing is, you called it a new scaling method. We have
a
a
new
Well,
tester right here
adjusted
denying
scaling.
that. Why are you guys calling it the new testing method?
Well,
because
this
it
is
is. It is new because now our stats actually matter because we're actually doing more damage than our
well,
alts, and
not necessarily the
we
stat,
just
but level. At least your level matters, and that's a start.
right. Yeah, at least your levels.
I'll listen to Fainal. I'll not listen to you guys.
Okay.
Wait, I'm
I
checking
listen to logic.
But you saw the evidence right in front of you. You can't deny that.
I did. But it is not a new method at all. I can tell you that right now. They made it to where, like, so you can farm it easier, pretty much. I think.
Right.
It's
That's
not a new
exactly what they did. It's
Yeah, but
literally
it's not a new method. That's the thing.
It's new
You can't
compared
As
to
in
just
new
this.
say
It's
new
definitely not
method
this.
when, like,
yeah, but the new scaling system, the scaling was not a new method either. It wasn't like a whole scaling system. It was literally they just changed the bots and made them our level. That was
Fainal,
all
your
they
take
did.
on this?
I don't think he can. He just said he can't. He said this
Yeah,
is something you should stay away from.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So
I didn't
what they've
realize.
done is they've manually reduced the levels on the mobs here, but had to manually adjust them. And that is why it is the perfect balance for us. That's why when you come into this map, you literally have no idea it's scaled because the mobs here do not feel
No,
like
not
they're
this
scaled.
map. The other map. This map is the
Not this map. This map is horrible. It's the old map. Yeah. So the other map, you go into it completely oblivious to the fact that it's scaled. Where you go into this map, you clearly know it's scaled, and that's why it's completely dead because no one can run it because it's scaled. Whereas in the other one, which is scaled, feels like it's not. So what I mean by new scaling system is it's literally a new scaling system because it's not at all the same as the old.
Mogluin Mana dungeons and Frostveil Cage
thing
dungeons.
is,
Oh my god. Scaling in there is horrible.
Yeah, but the scaling in like that guy said, like the scaling in the seasonal areas, all of them, all of the seasonal areas. I mean like the dungeons, they're horrible, dude.
But
horrible, exactly.
But
so they had all the new.
So poorly done. Whoever Okay,
I mean, I do kind of agree with that one. The biggest
bro,
example,
you punished us.
the biggest culprit is this guy, the Mogul Wing ones,
Mhm.
the South Wing. I
Yes.
believe
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
called, where you farm the
The
bow. That's
pumpkins,
the
yeah.
biggest ones, and I do have plans to rebalance that one because I think that's outrageous. Like that's too
Not only
much.
that one, go to the ship right now, the charade ship, bro. That gives me a headache. Running that gives me a headache. Those aliens, they apply poison on you. I swear to God, you'd like.
Oh, I
one, two,
know.
three
Oh,
times, you're
it's.
dead.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the difference is that I don't know what's the intention with that one because I didn't participate in the balance on that one, so I don't know if that's intended to
Imagine
be.
I
that
hope
something gives Mats
No,
a headache.
no. It's.
I know
I've
that,
had
for
I've had people
example,
asking me, "Are you making a guide on this?" And I was going, "No." Like it's a bloody nightmare. I don't want to play that again.
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
horrible.
what I mean is like straight X one shots you if he sees you there. So if that's the standard for the
That's
boss,
not at all. No, no, no. It's the
Bro, that's not
mobs.
the problem.
The
It's
mobs
the mobs. The
are.
mobs do the. Okay, we can run it right now with Fainal. Show him
but
what we mean.
you guys are not letting me finish. So what I was trying to say before
yeah.
being interrupted is
Let's
that
let him finish.
the intention there with trade, right, is that he one shots you. So the fact that he one shots you makes me think that because I wasn't involved with the balancing on that one, right, that maybe it is intentionally to be harder, maybe not to that degree, because scaling was introduced, I don't know if later or after.
Afterwards.
Afterwards, right? So maybe there was an intention to be hard, to be tough. Why I think that is because straight exit literally one shots you if he sees you, and I can guarantee that that's very intentional because no mob will deal like 2,000 damage if 300,000 damage if it wasn't like intentional. That would be too much of an oversight.
Mm,
That part is intentional, so that makes me believe that okay, maybe there is a intention or there is a reason why it is this way. Could be it, could be not. But that's what my hunch told me, right?
mm,
That may be a reason for that. So it always
yeah.
goes back to intention.
Right.
Mm,
Yeah, but no matter what intention it is, right? If you run that dungeon, I swear to God, it's a horrible experience. Like
Oh, it's
I
horrible.
I don't want to farm that at all. Like
No,
I
no,
was
no.
trying to, but
I-
it's horrible, bro. Like
I can't make a video on it because that's how much I hate it. Like I don't. I'm going. No, I don't want to spend 25, 45 minutes running it and then spending 3 hours editing it on a dungeon I can't stand.
hey
it's
yo.
called
So-
a party blaze.
So,
Nice.
so what I'm hearing is that oh no, they spawned it on a scaled map.
Good job, guys. Amazing. Terrifying job.
Hey yo, Ace, could you ban that guy in chat real quick?
Oh my goodness. It's gonna take forever.
Yeah, please, yes, just ban that guy.
Thank you very much.
We get him out of here. Yeah. What a loser.
Mod checks, mod 5. You just got mod check. That's funny.
Oh, that was that. Well, kind of should have figured from the name.
Right? Some
Loser.
people.
But anyways, I mean, I can take a look into it. Just like
Yeah.
I know that it's really hard because I also have played. I farmed it when it came out, and then afterwards I also farmed
Yeah.
it. So I know that it's hard. I know what you guys are talking about. I can always check and see, okay, is this too outrageous or not? And then I'm gonna have to ask, is this supposed to be this outrageous? Are we cool with this? Because I know that with the Moglowing one, the reason why I want to rebalance it is because this cannot possibly be this outrageous. Like, this is insane. Like, come on, this makes no sense because there is no entity one-shotting you that makes me think or justify the fact that these regular mobs are one-shotting you. That doesn't make any sense for me in a balance sense. That's why I want to balance it. Hopefully, next Moglowing is going to be done when it releases. You guys are not going to have to wait for it to pass 1 week or two. It should release rebalance already.
Get Clarion in on that because he's the one that did the balancing on that other lunar map that we were on, and he knocked it out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
How about Frostvel? Like
that's
the
another
labyrinth.
horrible. Yeah, the labyrinth
the
absolutely
seasonal
horrible.
stuff,
It takes forever to run.
That's
one
another
dungeon.
old one. Yeah.
Another old one. Yeah.
Into an issue that we have and that I've been wanting to address on my own. The thing is, like, when I just address stuff on my own, that means that I'm not working on something else. So I have to be strategical when how I present myself to the game.
if I do it on
Yeah.
as a side project,
Yeah.
if I do it on my own time,
Yeah.
if I present them as a main project, guys, will you not need me for like 1 week so I can focus on this? So there's a lot of compromise that I have to take from my time to address a lot of these things and stuff
Right.
that I already do with my time. Like when I was telling Raven before the stream that I'm always kind of working in the game or doing something for the game. If
Yeah.
I'm not actively working on a project, I'm working on a side project that I want to do on my own to present to the team. I'm
Yeah.
working on fixing a glitch. I'm working on balancing something. So I already involved myself with the game to an unhealthy amount. So I need to be careful with not burn myself. Something that Clayton tells me a lot of the times: don't burn yourself because you are doing too much.
And that's
Right.
something I wanted to ask about because of the amount of things that we as players are complaining about and demanding, right? Is you have like 6, 7 years worth of requests backed up on the shoulders of very few people now. How do you
Yeah.
prioritize and how do you deal with all of that? Because it seems like every time you get around to addressing one concern, it breaks like 10 other things, and now you have,
Yeah.
instead of
Another
100
pops up.
problems, you have 150 problems on your hands, and now it looks like the company isn't doing anything and they don't care about the players, and then it's just, you know, it's very demoralizing on both ends from for players and
Mm.
for you guys. But
We need to
you know,
kill these guys. They're starting to buff up pretty bad.
yeah. So
Starting to watch
because we
us.
know like people like us who interact with you guys and stuff, we know that there are things going on, but for the everyday player inside the game, they just feel like okay, no updates,
Exactly.
nothing is, and
They just
like you
admit
said,
you're
you work
disconnected.
unhealthy amounts of hours, but nobody ever. I mean, I've given you credit a couple times on stream for that, but nobody knows, and that's the thing. These things go on behind the scenes, and
Right.
it's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, to be fair, I don't do it for the credit itself. Like, so a lot of things I actually work because something annoys me specifically, and I'm so petty that I say, no, I can't keep playing this. I need to
Mhm.
fix this, and I go and fix it. So there is a lot of me too, like as a player, because I'm just like you guys. I've been playing this game since forever.
Yeah,
Uh, so some things, as long as I can fix that, yeah, I do.
and
But as you say, it's something that it gets work in the background. It's
because
not
like
front and center.
even myself, like I know we had falling outs in the past because of similar
Mm-hmm.
things, right? Because of misconceptions and it was misdirected anger. I'm a changed man. I no longer get angry at things anymore, but you know,
Oh, nice.
it's like it's not you that we were inherently upset with. It was the way that things were done, and that was because we didn't know that something else was being worked on in the background, but the things that are necessarily being worked on in the background aren't things that the everyday player would want. So I guess it's
Yeah.
like people are feeling that the things they're constantly asking for aren't being prioritized. Like some people want
Right.
cosmetics, some people want gameplay, some people want XYZ, and that's what we were talking about earlier. That
Mm-hmm.
where's the middle ground? And it seems like you're the devs are always going to be in a line of fire because there's this mountain of things, and then the players are
Yeah.
always going to be some dissatisfied to a certain degree. Whereas there's going to be people like us who are happy to log in and just chill with friends and do whatever the game has to offer, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I got burned out from the game in the summer largely because of scaling. It ruined every single experience. I would go in to play it with people and I'm struggling to take out a trash mob, just like
mm-hmm.
one little tiny frogzard, and I couldn't kill it because of scaling. I mean, I could kill it, but it's taking so long. I'm thinking I have to kill 15 of these for the quest. Like it shouldn't take me this long to kill one little tiny thing. I should be able to pump these things full of iron, and I can't. So it was just getting frustrating, especially when I'm playing other games and I'm able to walk over top of these trash mobs. The bosses, of course, I'm struggling with because that's the way it's supposed to be. But it shouldn't be like that, especially for a mobile game. And I was just thinking, no, this is just so I got burned out from that kind of
you have
grind after a while.
you have
What?
clearly never played Tower of Fantasy, my man. Trash mobs trashed me so bad in that game.
What? That's
Yeah,
horrible.
it is. It was. I no longer play.
Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. Burnout, eh?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
have
I was
taken
just
breaks from the game as well. Before becoming a tester, I think I took like 2 long breaks from the game. One because I was busy with life, another because I actually got burnt out, and I never thought it was gonna happen. So I can empathize with you there, Raven, and with people that
Okay.
gets burnt out because it's something that happens. That can happen to
Right.
anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I got back into it when, once the school year started back up again. I was like, all right, I'll get back into it. But I still, it felt like this slow getting back into it. Again, it went back to scaling. Like it was just, there was no fixes being done. And there was content coming out, but it was all scaled. Like, and then when Atlantis comes out and it's scaled, and I was going, really? Have you not learned anything from the past year? Like 2002 was not a very good year for AQ3D, losing players and whatnot. So it was like, there's a chance to shine. Then when we saw that new lunar map, it was like a beacon of hope had popped up. It just changed the whole, and I was going, holy crap, this
You
is
mean
the year.
2022?
What?
He said 2002.
2020. Sorry. It's a time thing. I was talking with Fainal about that earlier. So it's a time thing. That's what happened. But anyways, yeah. So I was just, now it's like 2023. It looks like a really good year for AQ3D. And I largely, one of the main reasons why I say that is because of the changes I'd seen on the new lunar map to the enemies. And thinking, if they do this on every other map, this is going to be amazing. But if
So
they
the way
keep what
that I
they
see these
have,
things, the way that I see these things personally, and my personal philosophy, I'm not speaking in behalf of the team,
right?
is that there is always something that you can get or like try to rescue. And I think I have learned this from Artix because we have had this conversation with him a lot of times. There is always something that you can rescue from what people are talking about, people are criticizing, people are wanting to see, like you, Raven, right? What you want to see with this thing, when you realize that you would like to see, well, approaching this thing is that you can rescue, even if what led to it was not intended or was not the original idea, there is something that you can rescue. This whole scaling system debacle or discussion, what makes me see that people wouldn't feel bad they would like to see easier to approach enemies. However, I do have to say that for the sake of balance, because I have seen some of your videos, we cannot in goodwill as a balancer, I cannot give you a level 30 mob that gives you a level 45 XP because that's kind of ridiculous. It is not balanced on itself. Ideally, yes, you will just get rewarded for doing little, but that's no longer an experience, a rewarding experience, a rewarding engagement. I'm just giving you stuff for doing very little.
Right.
So
then why not have the XP come in through quests?
Yeah,
that's something that I agree with, Max. That's something that I agree with.
I like that.
Passionately, and I do want to I have trying to make that change in the company. We have had discussions about this. We have had meetings about this, but I have made a big role on talking about this specific issue. Why quests don't feel rewarding? They don't feel like a main way to level up, and it's something that thankfully I can say that we're trying to change, that we're trying to address, and we're trying to move in a better direction when it feels like just engaging in the main quest line or even a side quest line can be rewarding. Of course, the side quest line to a lesser degree, but just engaging on the main quest line on itself should be rewarding enough. And that is something that we're striving towards, like actively as we speak. That is something that we have discussed and something that we have in our minds. In one of the many projects. But yeah, that's something that it is in our minds. It's something that I agree with. It's something that I want to introduce, and it's something that I can do. That I have been able to convince them to allow me to help them out with, and they agree with it too. So it's something that can happen. That's more closer to happen or materialize than you will hope so.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Okay, so because then if you're doing that, if we're actually gonna get quests that give, the XP, so then people level up through the quests, then they can help also the players by giving them lower level mobs, making it quote unquote scaled by the new method. So
Yes.
then their balance is there and the XP is there as
Yeah,
well.
I think that would
Right.
be perfect. That would be
That would. Yeah,
Players
exactly.
would be feeling good, balance would be feeling good. So
yeah, and you're
Solves all the
getting your
problems.
rewards.
exactly.
So yeah,
I think that's
I
the
mean that
perfect
would
middle ground.
literally solve
Yeah.
the problem. And there's so many places where I'll see people posting comments. I can't get through here. This, I'm stuck at this place here. That would never happen with good balancing. They wouldn't be stuck at these places. You can't expect like a map like this, for instance. I mean, good luck trying to kill 50 of these guys. Now go try to take the boss down. It's going to take you like 3-4 minutes to kill that boss, and you have to kill her how many times to get that rare loot? So it's a nightmare, and no one's going to spend that kind of time farming for it. So a map like this becomes completely dead because of the current scaling system. So with a change on it.
Yeah, well, don't worry, Samurai is here, baby.
The Samurai is no longer a boss killer.
Where the bottleneck comes up with quests, Fainal, is because I remember playing through this. The bottleneck comes where you don't when you do Ashfall, when you're done with Ashfall, you don't have enough XP to get the gear, or you don't have enough gear to complete Darkovia. You don't have enough level or gear to continue with the next area. So the bottleneck starts at Ashfall, where the power level starts to trape off a little bit.
Yep, I agree. I think the most problematic area is not Ashfall questing, it's Ashfall gear.
Yeah.
There has been some changes done there. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Some of the early farms have been reduced, but not significantly enough.
Yeah, because
they haven't reduced.
I couldn't
They
take
no longer take 20 days.
Tengu or anything at the level that I finished, or at the level that I proceeded to go to Lolosia and do the yokai stuff. I couldn't finish the Tengu because my gear was I was just insta dead. So then I had to go back to Darkovia, and then I was insta dead at Werewolf Coliseum. So I was just stuck in limbo, and I had to do dailies for a couple of days to get to the level that I could get the actual gear.
Yeah. So I think we have an issue with progression there that I've been aware for a while. Progression on how you get gear, the availability of the gear, and how fast you get said gear. For example, in Ashfall in the questing sense doesn't have much of an issue. The quest that you get at that XP at that level is kind of decent. There can be improvements on that. I'm not against that. However, there is this thing that it used to, especially on like vanilla Ashfall, it takes you 20 days to get like a piece of gear, 20 days to get like the full set. That was like outrageous amount of time. In my opinion, that should be lowered to maybe 2 days or 3 days to get a full set if we're gonna do it daily solely. And that is something that I'm trying to work, and I want to work in. I want to rebalance the whole progression path that we have. I have a lot of ideas on how to make your guards the main progression for weapon. That if you don't get a weapon, you can always go to your guard's meeting and get a weapon from him, an optional weapon. It won't be the best, but it's something that's gonna help you out. And this was something that Clarion introduced. I always give him praise about that because it was so smart. It was such a great idea. I will do it slightly different, not to like tarnish his work or like criticize it. I just would have done it with a few differences on method, so it's more accessible to get those weapons since they're intended to be optional.
Okay, yeah, because
so those were the
he's like the blacksmith. Okay.
Yeah, because in the lore, Julgars is a redeemed blacksmith, and in every other game, Julgars has a weapon for you. They're not the best. Some of them are for gold, some of them are really easy to farm, some of them are linked by a side quest. but he has weapons. And our game is the only game that doesn't have that for Yulgars, except when Clarion tried to introduce that recently. But I think that's a great example and a great system that I want to introduce. So we have optional weapons. I want to introduce that. Optional weapons. Because we only have main progression weapons. I want to introduce optional, no, a starting gear that is garbage. What do I mean by that? So I get the idea from Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14, in every area, in every little town that you are, there is one vendor always that sells you the most horrible garbage gear that you can imagine. It's just trash. And it's always for gold. However, let's say that you're missing one piece. You're missing a helmet. You're missing shoulder plates because you don't have any, or you have one that you got 7 levels ago. That garbage piece of gear is going to be good for you at that level because at least it's going to cover your bases on that aspect. That is a system that I want you to use as well. So you can always get there. Ideally, that's going to be for gold. Balance for gold. Going to be like, I don't know, 1K, really low. So a newbie that is coming new to the area and has literally no gear can rely on at least a bit of gear. And with that little bit of gear, starting gear, they can farm the gear that is in the existing area. Because I'm not looking to replace the farming. I'm looking to complement it and make it easier, make it more accessible for you.
Okay.
That is another system that I want to introduce. In addition to the also adjusting the times that takes you to get Talent set, to get the Dragon Champion set, to get Scale Slayer 1 and 2, the time that takes you to get the Covian armors. Because I don't want them to, you ideally don't want people to skip that grind completely. You don't want them to skip content. But you could do, to achieve that, because that's what is happening right now, people just skip content, will be to nerf the requirements so it is easier for people to at least grab one piece or 2 pieces of gear while they're there and not completely give up and go into run into another area.
Oh.
So there is a lot of things that is already been on my mind that how to address it. It's still kind of in the drawing board. I have a lot of more consolidated systems that I want to introduce, like the ones that I just explained to you guys. Right. It's something that I look forward to work on.
And those are kind of methods that would like reduce the gap between the areas, like in a sense,
Precisely.
right? Okay.
Precisely. That's the main objective, to reduce that gap on gear, because I think our game has a big issue in progression. So introducing those systems, those 3 systems, will be at least try to address that. And it may not completely work, but at least it's going to be better to what we have right now.
Well, it'd certainly be a step in the right direction at any rate. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's something that I can at least give you a heads up to, or like a little sneak peek.
Sneak peek.
I appreciate all
that's
of this.
awesome.
We've been chatting for almost 2 hours and 40 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up the floor for chat to ask maybe 2 questions for any one of us, me, Goldraven, or Sir Fainal. We'll take two questions, and then I'll give the floor to both Goldraven and Sir Fainal to give their closing remarks, so that we can wrap up the stream, because I know they both have very busy schedules, and Lag needs to go have dinner. It's almost quiet time.
Quest line.
Spawning gold-ridden birds. I didn't even say nothing.
Thank you for the spawns.
Oh, my pleasure.
I swear to God, if I don't get this trouble for him. This bird, me and him, we have rivalry. I swear to God.
What's for dinner? That's a good question.
What's for dinner?
I have some
raven bird in a minute.
I have roti and curried chicken that I have to go and finish eating.
Yeah, exactly. This gold raven bird in a minute. Watch.
Oh, jeez.
Lunch.
I mean, it is the color of curry. So, I mean, that's cool. That's close enough.
24K gold chicken. There we go.
I just want to say also thank you to everybody that, while we're waiting for chat to give us questions, I want to say thank you to everybody that's watching, everybody tuned up to the streams, everybody that followed. And thank you to Goldraven and especially Sir Fainal for taking time out of his busy schedule to be here to take part in these discussions, especially concerning the history that we've had. And I'm glad we were able to move past that. And
Yeah,
moving
sure. It
forward,
was
I
it
hope
was a
that
pleasure.
we have a good relationship going forward.
Yeah, of course, it was a pleasure. I really enjoyed my time here. Thank you for the invitation. I'm glad that I took your invitation. I had a really good time. It was a respectful discussion. I hope I was able to give you guys a little bit of an insight on what is going on behind the scenes. What
You
things are
really
being worked
did.
on.
Yeah, you did, man. You did, and you did give hope to
Yeah.
a lot of the people, because people do go back and watch the VODs and stuff, and I will try my best to timestamp this. I timestamped the last discussion video. It was a pain
You did.
in the butt
Oh,
to do
I
it,
could
but I did.
imagine.
But I will
Mhm.
definitely timestamp this one. It'll be uploaded to YouTube as well, so feel free. And as for who the next guest will be, I'm not sure yet, but I'm open for suggestions. All right. If
If you
you
can get a
are
hold
new
of
here,
Dage,
don't forget to
that'd
hit
be awesome.
follow. And if you are new here and wanted to chill with us and, talk about the game, talk about other games, talk about anything, join the Discord by typing !Discord in the chat, and you will join the the Discord, the Keepers of Lord Discord, where everybody has a lag name for no reason. Actually, there's one thing. I don't know if I have time to show it on stream. Can I show this on stream? How do I share Discord?
You got to make a separate window for it.
Yes. I have found it. All right, so I will bring my Discord here, and I will put my OBS here. Okay, so I'll just do a window capture. All right. So I want you guys to take a look at this.
Oh my god, this guy.
Alright, so if this is what is on my server, alright, this is called the Shrine of the Roly Cow, and this is nothing but like rolling cows. This is the best thing ever. This emoji is what made me get Discord Nitro. This is just completely off topic. It has nothing to do with AQ3D, but all of us take
This guy's advertising Discord now.
yeah,
I'm losing it.
we all take pleasure in just
He's getting his spam.
yeah. So there's just variants of the Roly Cow, but this is called the Shrine of the Roly Cow. It's just one channel in the Discord server, and yeah,
That's funny.
it is.
Come
Look.
on, Bird, you better drop this.
All right, so that's enough of that. I always wanted to show that on stream one day and be like, guys, we're not a cult, we're not weird, we just do this.
Yeah, that's cool. Luna has a good question, and I asked this exact question like 8 or 9 months ago. I didn't get a response, but I would really hope so, because a lot of the crafts in the game aren't tokens and they take up space. And with people who have a lack of storage, this causes a huge problem when you're going for certain things that aren't tokens. All of the old items and stuff that require, craftable stuff, those weren't tokens because back then tokens didn't exist.
Yeah.
So, Fainal, do you ever think that's a possibility? That
it'd be nice if the stuff at the bank, that drop, not stuff at the bank, but the drop for the travel forms, the temporary travel form that turns into a permanent travel form.
Fainal sounds different.
Stuff like that.
Okay?
Oh, this. What's up?
I said Fainal sounds different. Is he okay?
No, I'm fine. No, that's not me.
Oh,
well, that's someone else.
Me.
He's making a joke.
Bro.
Oh,
anyway. The stuff that drops like the shiny coin from the bank. If you have it in your bank, you cannot pick up any more shiny coins. Stuff like that. Or the droppable temporary travel form. I don't know. Stuff
well,
like
that's a consumable. So for something like that, consumables can't be tokens as far as I am aware. But Things like a good example is the faded paper talisman. That's a token, yet we have other craftable items, from previous things that you would need to craft something with that aren't tokens, so they take up inventory space, which takes up space.
Tokens, or the bank things, the balloons in Losia, or
so do you think those things would ever become tokens at some point? Do you think that's a possibility, or
is it something difficult to do? Or
are you talking? This is me. I'm Kiba.
No, I'm talking to Fainal now. I'm asking if it's a possibility for them to change an item once it's been created.
Yeah. That can happen.
It happened before.
I was tempted to make my joke again.
You can't make it twice.
No.
So as I was saying, it is something that it is possible. We have done it in the past. We can convert the tokens. There are some precautions that have to be taken, like what is the limit? Sometimes tokens are limitless when they're in regular inventory form, and then where they transform into tokens, they always have to have a limit with the current system. So that's something that people don't like much, or I see him criticizing, but that's like the trade-off. We cannot have it limitless because it's a unique item, unique thing.
But items already have caps. Like if you click on some of these things, it says like snowball max stack size 500, but some of them are unique items.
Exactly. So that's the difference. The tokens are forced to be unique. You cannot have more than one stack. While the other ones, the items can be multi-stackable. That's the term that I use, multi-stacks.
Yeah. Okay.
So depends on the intention. If an item is meant to be multi-stackable, then it has to be a regular item. If you, for any reason, you want to have multi-stack, and some items are intended. I'm going to rely again to the Nulgat farming.
So
the Nulgat, all of the Nulgat farmings they are intended to take inventory space because that's a resource, a finite resource that should take away from your inventories, because what it is intended to do is like forcing you to organize, forcing you to trade. So you cannot just hoard 50 stacks of tainted gems. And in addition to that, one stack of dark crystal shards, and you have in that stack of one crystal shard, you have 2 dark crystal shards. The idea for that one to have to be that way is so it forces you to at some point make a decision, like, okay, I'm gonna trade my tainted gems, or I'm gonna sell them for gold. Same with the diamonds of Dulgat. So since I participated on that, I created that. I know that sometimes these items have intentions behind it, and there is an intention why the item is taking slot. With Nulgat farming, that all of the items are intentionally not made tokens, because that's the design that is placed that way. So as long as an item doesn't have that design, it can be turned into a token. However, have you seen how many items, resources do we have in the game? Who is going to be the poor soul that we're going to slave for days for every single item individually into a token?
I remember when the drops from in Sand Sea, when this happened, when the drops in Sand Sea got converted into tokens, like for the food crafts were converted into. So I had like a max multiple stacks.
Yeah.
So all of them converted into tokens. So my token limit actually was broken.
Yeah.
So I actually had more stuff than tokens.
That's one of the issues that we run when we do that thing. That's why I said that we have to have those precautions on how much are we going to make it stack to a limit? Yeah, how much are we going to, if we're going to transform? There is some drawbacks of transforming stuff.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
From in the future, it always depends on the individual designer because
has a question. Sorry.
We are in different, we work in little teams, right? So whatever one designer is doing, they may not want it to be a token. Or
you missed Aculescence. Aculescent asked the question, what about having a separate bag slot, like a separate space for consumables, similar to like what is used for tokens?
So the way that it is right now, it has to, for what I understand, is that it has to be on your active back because otherwise you're not able to use it to like click on it. That's why the pet is different to the travel form, because the way that it's coded is that the pet one you can click and you can interact with it. So it will have to be coded in a specific way that allows you to do that.
It allows you to interact with it.
Yeah, it allows you to interact
with it. So the possibility is there.
Yeah.
It's just okay. I see.
Yeah, it is there. Just that it's gonna take some work, and again, we go back into resources, priorities. Is this something that we really want to prioritize?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it is possible. It's something that it's a quality of life feature that can happen whenever we have the time and the resources to do so.
Okay.
So this is somewhat annoying that happens, but I think I discovered if you click a pet, right, that has a collection, and during combat you can actually open the collection.
Oh jeez, Akalescent.
That's a skill issue, as I would call it.
Well, you actually can do it if you click the pet's head.
Yeah.
But if you click the side of it, you cannot.
So
yeah, I guess that's just having fat fingers. Yeah, I mean, we can't change that functionality because it's gonna like get in the way. But yeah, it's annoying. I get it. It has happened to me before as well. I open like quest pets, or I open accidentally pet shops or stuff like that that I don't want to open. So I just want to quit my pet. Okay, stop bothering me. You're
exactly. It's a simple fix. Not everything we can beg, the game devs to fix. Some things are just an easy common sense fix.
And one other question I have is any time when the 20th anniversary stuff will appear back or no?
So I know the answer of that, but I don't think it has been officially stated everywhere. So
It hasn't been officially stated anywhere.
Okay.
So
therefore, I cannot say anything about it. Yeah. For the sake of my position, I will not reveal when that's coming back. I know the answer, but I cannot tell you guys.
I'm just wondering.
Luna says. Oh, sorry.
I'm just wondering because your NPCs there with that shovel, talk about that shovel, eventually will pop up.
Okay, so I can answer that question. That question that specifically had to do with my design, I can answer that one. So I intentionally took away the shovel quest, and I even gave like an in-canon explanation of what was going on, like so it makes like sense with the lore. So, I don't know why.
When Ring of Doom comes back, you will change the dialogue, I think.
Yeah, when that eventually comes back, the quest will also come back. And who knows, maybe I'm going to be working on some extra editions to add more content into the anniversaries, but who knows?
And the only token item I think you can use in your inventory as a token is the blue ogre tokens, the new ones.
Are they, or are they the little...
There's a new blue ogre token.
Oh, the legendary one. That is bugged.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. See, so I didn't participate in the creation of that one, so I have no idea what is going on with those ones. So any questions about those tokens, I have no clue.
I don't know about them because I still have my original ones. I'm keeping them because they are considered legacy now for some reason.
What?
The original blue ogre tokens. I hear that they won't be. I heard from because when they did the blue ogre spawning, the only name I've been getting was a legendary ogre, not the original blue ogre tokens.
Let me see, because I have some in my inventory. I keep them all the time. Apparently, I do not keep them in my inventory all the time. Alright,
But I like the quest rewards going directly to your bank if you have the item in your bank. That is awesome.
Yeah, that's actually a new feature that one of our colleagues work on it, and it's such a small quality of life, but it did so good. That's one of my favorite stuff too.
That is quality of life, or if you have a full inventory, maybe if you turn the quest, it goes to the bank.
Hey yo, is that Nate? Hi Nate. Also, Goldraven Welkzam has a question for you.
I saw it too.
It's a very weird question.
Okay.
I don't understand. But also to answer Luna's question about wanting to change your armor during combat, there's a reason that we cannot do that, and that is because when you unequip and re-equip anything, it resets your HP. So if you had the ability to do that, and this is but especially for PC players, you will have infinite HP and you will never die. So no. So I think that's why.
Not working on PvPs enough.
I think that's
There's
why.
a lot of limitations that we have to deal with, and lag is correct. That's exactly what it is. Why? Lag. That's exactly the reason why you cannot change gear during combat.
You see
and
that
also,
stream?
if you're in combat, you should maybe run away and then change your gear, focus on fashion when you're not fighting. So, like I said, I cannot. Come on, you guys have common sense. You can like figure out some of this on your own. You don't need me to take care of it.
Just shows your fashion. Just show you fashion with travel forms of pets when you're in PvP. In classes. That's how you show you fashion.
So
this is.
All right, I
I
think
think
that's
this-
all of the questions for tonight. Oh,
It is.
other than Akalescent's question, that is the age-old question that all of us have been asking forever and ever. Whether or not when will stats matter in game? I don't know if that's something you want to address or not before we close.
Aka, do you have your build finished? Okay, so let me see your stats. Yeah, you do. Don't you? No, you don't. I don't think you do.
Full attack.
Yeah, but my examples will be if I duel you right now and I will kill you, then it already matters because I kill you because I have a fully finished build and you don't. So get better.
I have a full attack and crit build.
So I have a whole like take on that. I don't know if you have the time to go in depth on it. I know what you guys are saying. I'm just like making a I know what you guys mean, but
yeah.
So whenever this kind of systems get properly addressed, the scaling, all the fixes that we want to do, and all the changes, they ideally should feel better by then. And it's something that we're still working on. And I don't have much to add to it because that's more on the coder side, and I don't do coding.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really the right person to answer the question.
All right. Thank you so much, Fainal.
Although if I PB you, that guy will probably can kick your back because I have a finished build. You don't.
You just love telling people that, don't you?
Before you head off, Fatal, I want you to write that there's a weird glitch right now. If you die, you actually don't notice if you die.
That's not new.
No,
that's been going for.
No, the way how it is now, you still see your HP full. You still see you. It's different than the weird zombie one.
No. That's been happening. You just have to relog and it fixes.
Yeah,
but just
sometimes when that happens, there is two reasons. One is like you are experiencing a lot of personal latency, and I know that players don't like to hear that, but most of the times it's a you problem. You have lag, you have latencies, and every time is get blaming on the server. Sometimes justifiably so. Sometimes the server is struggling. You can probably notice it during resets times, whenever there is a patch coming, when there is a hotfix. When too much stuff gets spawned, the servers slow down, and that's when you're most likely to experience that really annoying bug.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the times it's because you are lagging really bad and your connection is unstable. You maybe you're running out of data. So those are like the two instances on when it can happen.
That usually happens
we have
to me in dungeons, like especially in the Scorpion raid. That happened to me a lot. Like I would die, but I didn't know I was dead. And like in PvP, it happens to me a lot in PvP.
That was specifically, I remember that. That was specifically because the servers were struggling with all the machines that Scorpion was doing. So it was the server was struggling because that is a good example of happening to a lot of people because your whole lobby will get affected by it. It wasn't like a one-player thing.
Okay, yeah. So that's like obviously you just said that so many people died. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good indication of if it is something wrong with the game or if it's something wrong with your connection. If the whole lobby that you're in is experiencing the same thing, or maybe not the whole lobby, but like 8 players out of 10, 6 players out of 10 are experiencing it, it's because there is an issue with the latency of the servers.
Mm-hmm.
If it's only happening to you and no one else replied to you when you ask, are the server lagging? And no one replies to you, that's because the issue is you.
Yeah, that's
okay. Yeah, it makes sense. I've had it happen on both ends when it's just been just me or when it's been
Other people
multiple
as well, yeah.
people.
Yeah, it happened to me too. All right, I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah, I think so because it's 3 hours and I will have to timestamp this at some point.
Oh, good luck.
I know your pain because in the old podcast, I was the one in
Yeah.
charge of timestamping all of them, so I know exactly what you have in front of you.
Yeah,
So then you had to do all the time stamping. Oh.
yeah. I really like this format, the live format, because we get to interact with the people in the stream chat and their feedback is valuable. Their questions are valuable. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
totally off topic. Feel like Fainal could do Eminem's Rap God with ease.
I would
Jeez.
probably stumble on my words regardless.
Also, I just before I give you the floor, Fainal and Goldraven, Lothar asked about minimaps, and that's a question I brought up all the time. The answer for that is no because of the way the maps are currently built. So what my workaround is there's a really good guy on the wiki team called Hero Man Guy, and every time there's a new dungeon or something, he is on top of getting that map out there. Other people make maps too, of course.
Yeah.
But you can get the map on the wiki and just like download it on your phone, and that's how I navigate through stuff. So
I
So,
remember when the
floor is
Tengu
yours.
it's a good Tengu
Goldraven.
one.
And sorry, go ahead.
Wait, that's Hero? He's the one that makes those?
Yeah.
His name is at the bottom of the
I
map.
had. Oh.
Somebody made one for Tengu. Somebody made one for the spaceship. Somebody made one for the Nightmare. Somebody made one for the Volt.
Wow.
And someone made one for the Genie Maze.
Oh, yeah. That took forever to figure out.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much. I don't know who wants to go first, if Fainal or Goldraven wants to go first with the closing remarks.
Oh, I'd just say it was awesome to be here. This was super, super fun. Time flew by.
Yeah, it did. All puns intended.
Yeah.
You're Raven.
Oh, I wasn't even using it that way. Oh, wow, that was a good one. All right, I'm going on a high note.
Raven, drink your water.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, time really flies. I didn't even notice the 3 hours that went by.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to notice it because my throat is starting to hurt.
Yeah.
Answering all these questions.
Oh,
But,
yeah, thank you so much. And if you guys have suggestions for any of the people that I should ask to be here, I think every Thursday night is a good night to do this. And if it's just chill, we can just chill. But anyways, again, shameless plug. If you are new here and you have not hit that follow button, please hit follow because I'm trying to hit 900 followers on Twitch. Artex told me to get to 1,000. I'm not sure why. So I'm trying to hit 900 first.
Oh. I know why.
And then I want to thank all of you for watching. Thank all of you for being here. Join the Discord if you want to keep up with us and give us some feedback. Thank you, Rin, for posting the Discord. I want you guys to acknowledge and thank Fainal for taking time out of his busy schedule for making time to discuss these things with us, and take time to thank Goldraven for taking time out of his busy schedule to have these kind of discussions with us. Hey yo, did Sir Fainal just follow my channel? What?
yes.
Bro, here I am thanking this man who's been showing up to my streams for however long. Thank you for the follow. But
you were asking for the follow. Okay, I guess I'm gonna give it to him.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so I think with that we can close. Thank you for being here as well, Kiba. So look forward to the video within the next 2 or 3 days on YouTube. And I may or may not stream over the weekend if I get permission to not have to be quiet, because I'm staying with my relatives, so I have until I recover. So sometimes I have to be quiet depending on how they're feeling. So thank you so much. Much love, and how do I usually end this? Stay safe, be happy, and meow.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Hi.